across the UK, on DAB+, on YouTube, on your mobile, and on your side. This is Talk.
Well, before we go live to the Conservatives for Political Action Conference, I want to congratulate Pakistan on its £153 million donation from the United Kingdom in the week that it said that Shabir Ahmed should not be allowed back into the country, despite the fact that he assisted in the gang, an organised gang, that raped 1,200 children in Britain. Pakistan said it's the low moral values of the United Kingdom that is responsible for this problem, not the fact he's of Pakistani heritage. I think it's a little bit of both, if I'm being totally honest. But we have attempted to ask our friends in Pakistan to do their bit in order to break up this criminal network. And, of course, they've said no. Why have they said no? Because the benefit to the Islamic world of emptying out the waifs, the strays, the perverts, the criminals and the mentally ill into Europe has hugely improved the Islamic world. And, of course, they don't want to go back to the problems they had in the past. There it is on the front page of the Mail. So congratulations, Pakistan, on a splendid result. OK, let's go straight to CPAC, to Mike Salem. Mike, how are you?
Good evening. I am very well and merry. How about you guys? How have you been in the studio?
Are you drunk?
No. It is just that I'm at a weird camera angle and I've got my phone held up waiting for you guys.
What's going on at the CPAC conference there, man?
Well, it's been very positive, actually. It's the first of its kind here in the UK, trying to bring together those who agree that there needs to be some change needed in this country. Yeah. And it's been very positive. The reaction's been very friendly, and it's good to catch up with friends.
The Conservative Political Action Conference, so it's all like minds that meet.
Just a matter of interest. I went to CPAC in Washington in 2002 and met the Sisters for the Second Amendment. Are the Sisters for the Second Amendment attending? They are women who believe that all women should be mandated to carry guns to protect them against rapists. Are they there?
Well, I haven't seen them here today. So you'd have to come yourself tomorrow and check that out. I think...
I have a media pass. I just couldn't be bothered.
So how long does this go on for, the CPAC? Have you been every day, and what have you learned?
So, yeah, it started off yesterday, and it's here till tomorrow afternoon, and Ron DeSantis is starting tomorrow off in the morning. So it's been a real coalition of people from across the world giving us some lessons on what works, what doesn't work, and what are the next steps.
Have they talked about security for right-wing politicians? Obviously, that's been in the news all over the world, and especially here. Have they talked about that?
So that has been discussed, and you can also see with the politicians that have attended today who are right-wing, they have had increased security, whether it is Reform MPs or candidates or even on the Conservative side. So it's been pretty actually interesting to see how accessibility has been reduced to some of these politicians, given the circumstances, which, of course, I understand, but at the same time...
but what about in that case, to follow that up, what about security at the conference itself? Because at some point... the jihadis are going to have a go, and at that point, one would assume the police will support the jihadis. So what do we do about that?
Well, I haven't seen any jihadis here so far, thank God for that. But I have been asked to take a sip of my own water bottle, and I very much respect and appreciate them being concerned about my hydration.
What about?
Were they profiling you?
No, I don't think so. I think they've asked everyone to have a sip of water.
What about what the Spanish did, which is a small piece of chorizo and a small glass of red wine whenever you walk in? Are we considering doing that?
Well, there hasn't been lots of alcohol here till the gala here in the evening, so that has been...
Sorry, there's no bar. Is there a bar?
There is a bar. There is a bar, of course. You can. I
was going to say, because
yes.
I was thinking of coming tomorrow morning to have a bit of a wander around. What's going on tomorrow? Should I come tomorrow? What's happening?
Yes,
give us some times as well.
I think you should. I don't think they've released the full timetable yet, but tomorrow at 9 a.m. in the morning, Ron DeSantis will be here addressing the address.
You won't be up. What's the one after that?
I'm not entirely sure, I'm afraid. I haven't received the timetable personally. It hasn't been given out to me.
It's a bit silly putting him on first thing in the morning, isn't it? He's like a headline
What I'm gonna have to do next year, actually, is move to Canary Wharf or move to the O2 for the weekend, then go to the conference, come here, and then go back to the hotel.
You've got that block, you know, that nice block that was 80 quid a night.
Yeah.
Lovely.
The big
facilities.
The big problem I'm going to have is getting home at sort of 2:30 in the morning and getting up at 7 to get to the O2 is not going to be...
Just do an all-nighter like Alan Brazil, doing Alan Brazil.
I think that's a valid concern, and I think this is only the first CPAC, so there will be lessons learned on where and how to do it, and I think perhaps next year they'll do it more centrally and more convenient for journalists and greater footfall as well, and politicos.
Has it been a big turnout?
It's been good, to be honest. Given the heat, I think it's been a good turnout.
Is it air-conditioned? So
it's very well air-conditioned. That's another big positive.
So maybe people are just turning up to cool down. No? Did you see Farage speak today?
Yes, I did see Farage speak. He was very political on
Well, let's have a look. We've got a little few tasters of him, a little nibbles menu of Farage today at CPAC. Let's have a look at the first one. Run the VT. Press play on the video.
I'd like to say welcome to Great Britain. But I have to really say welcome to broken Britain, because we are in something of a mess. In fact, I'd go further and say we're actually engaged in a battle for the very soul of our nation, to define what we actually are, what we stand for, what our values are, because they're under attack in just the most astonishing and extraordinary. But I'm doing this not because I want rank.
Well, it's like Norman Collier, the old microphone going trick. Good mate, he looked like he had my makeup artist. So did you watch him speak, or what did you feel about it? But apparently it went down very well.
I think it did. I think he touched on the key issues that the people here care about. It was very political as well, talking a lot about reform, about their success at the latest Police and Crime Commissioner elections in Great Yarmouth, defeating both the Tories and the Restore candidates combined. So there was lots of political angle to it. Of course, it wouldn't have been impossible to not talk about Anne Widdecombe and her tragic murder.
Just move your head to the left. Just move your head to the left. Just
hang on. Am I like this?
Right a bit. Left a bit. It's like cricket, isn't it? No, left a bit. Right a bit. There you go.
Very good. Yes, I can't see myself, so...
well, we'll just tell you. If you go off, we'll tell you.
Yes. So it's been quite good. I think he's a very effective communicator, and he did convey the points that he needed to. Very
he just said it as well. He didn't read it off anything, did he? He's one of these amazing people. You can do that. You just spiel off a load of stuff, and it's brilliant as well.
Yes, well, I think practice makes perfect, and if you've been in politics as long as Nigel has,
it's a natural thing, though. I mean, you look at other politicians can't do what he does.
Maybe. It depends. I mean, you look at people, for instance, like...
So do us a favour. Do us a favour. Walk around. Show us CPAC a little bit.
Oh, well, OK, I'll give you a bit of...
You don't have to be on camera. Show us around a little bit.
Let me turn it for you. Hang on. Oh, how do I...
Press the little twirly
there we go.
There.
Got it. So this is where we are here in the lobby. You've got the big Union Jack, of course, and the CPAC Great Britain, and you've got...
it doesn't look very busy.
Lobby.
Where are they? Where is everyone?
Well, we're at the gala dinner. Everyone's been
I'm doing this
now, where we have been trying to...
So if I got a media pass, do I get into the dinner for free?
Well, you've missed it, I'm afraid. So you've got to.
Could you open the emergency exit at the end, and we'll just nip in and get the nits and nibbles?
Well, you're more
People leave stuff on their plates, don't they? You know.
I was thinking more of going for the actual political engagement rather than stealing food at the end of it.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
That as well. I think the real positive has been meeting people from across the world, whether it is Australian or Americans, and learning from them and from their experiences.
What's going on in Australia? They've sort of got it worse than us in some ways.
Well, indeed, and that's what I've told my Australian friends here, that they always begin bad legislation in Australia, then they ship it to Canada, and then they come to the UK with terrible policies like social media bans and tobacco and vapes and all that state interventionism, which stems actually from the oceanic part of the world. So actually, them defending our freedoms and liberties from Australia is quite crucial, and I've been just thanking them for their hard work.
It's ironic as well. I mean, it's basically a prison island that we used in the old days, isn't it? Now they're telling us how to...
Perhaps that is something for us to
Poacher
consider
turned
historically.
gamekeeper.
Yeah. It is quite interesting, actually, to compare
So
notes
can
with
you
our
not go
Australian
into
colleagues.
dinner?
Well, I'm going to try. It's quite loud.
Yeah, go,
I mean,
go in the dinner. Go on, let's have a look. Let's have a look at your dinner.
Obviously, you don't have to talk if there's stuff going on.
We'll just describe.
Well, I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, you can describe.
We'll describe because there's people on the radio. So he's walking into the lobby of the.
Indeed.
It's in a very nice. What is it? A hotel?
Is it the O2?
Indeed, yes.
The Millennium Dome.
It is the Intercontinental, yes.
Oh, well, the Intercontinental. Right, okay, it's different. So he's walking in now.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. Going on.
Is Nigel there? It's Nigel.
A bit more busy now.
It's Nigel. Has he gone?
Oh, that looks quite interesting.
Go up to the tables then.
Yes.
Walk up to the. He's walking.
Well, I don't think I can quite do that. No, no. I think we're just about to finish the.
Din.
The din-dins, indeed. I think everyone's going home now. So
have you not had the coffee and the mints or whatever, the chocolate bits?
Believe it or not, I had to miss the coffee to be with you guys.
Oh, terrible!
I'm sorry about that.
So
everyone's leaving
to get me a cup of coffee. Yes,
sorry,
indeed.
Why are the children? Why are the children there?
Well, I think because they come from a different part of.
Oh, we've lost him.
Tory boys.
They've got to. They haven't got.
No, but they were very small children.
Yes.
Tell us about the dinner. What was the main course?
Well, I don't think they've got. Yes. The main course was chicken. It was quite lovely, actually.
It's a bit
very
of a letdown, though, chicken, isn't it? You don't really want chicken.
Well, it depends. It depends. Have you had chicken earlier in the week or not? So it was quite
That's a good
delightful,
point.
actually.
Yeah, if you hadn't had chicken, it might be nice. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Canapés.
It's been very positive. We're not
Has it been productive? Because a lot of people are saying these conferences, it's all the same like-minded people, and you're not actually. It's just an echo chamber.
I think that's a very fair concern to have. But to be honest, with CPAC, what we're looking at is grassroots activism, very different from ARC, where it is more international.
And were there any? Come on, let's be honest. Were there any strange ones?
What do you define strange? I think.
Well, you know, funny, like any amusing problem.
Things,
people.
anything happened?
Well, I think it's everyone in politics has have their quirks. They're all a bit of good fun, and I haven't seen anything out of the ordinary aside from me having to drink a sip of my own water by security. Which I
saw a group who were the anti-NAMBLA at CPAC. And NAMBLA were an organisation called the North American Man-Boy Love Association, and there were people there campaigning to have it made illegal, which one would have thought it would have been illegal anyway. But
no, we're a lot more sensible here in this country.
Yeah, so I met the Sisters for the Second Amendment, anti-NAMBLA. There was one that was related to homosexuality, but I can't tell you what the name of the stall was. There was some strange ones.
What was the views on our new Prime Minister about to have his coronation? What's the views on what's going to happen to this country?
Indeed, not very positive. And to be honest, my views on that is that we're going to suffer, I think, economically. He's going to hike taxes up. And many people think he might not even last. He might even be shorter than Liz Truss's term because he's going to... destabilise the markets, and they're going to boot him out.
But won't he change it like he did with the bond market? Once he got a whiff that he'd said the wrong thing, he backed down. Once they get in the real world. We've got actually a clip. Let's have a look at Burnham talking about what he's going to do. Let's have a look at that.
As your leader, I will set a direction that is distinctively Labour. We won't try to out-green the Greens or out-reform reform, or doing what we've done in the past of wearing too many Tory clothes. Let me tell you, I'm quite happy that Kemi doesn't approve of my wardrobe choices, because I'm not keen on theirs either. From here, we do it differently.
Vacuous, isn't it? He's vacuous. He doesn't really have his own thoughts. He just, as he goes, he moves along, doesn't he? He's got no track record. I mean, being mayor of Manchester is no track record for running a country.
Well, indeed, and I think that's the key concern is that his policy will be primarily Manchesterism and devolving power to as many mayors as he can find, and that's maybe some way of addressing some of the concerns that people have, but it's by no means a magic formula or a silver bullet.
Yeah, I think his plan will be to gerrymander the country into as many mayoralties as he can, ensure that they're all won by Labour, and then tax the country really, really punitively, but give that money to those local mayors who can stand up saying, we've spent 8 billion on this, or well, probably not that much, but, you know, 8 million on this, 3 million on that. And that will be his winning strategy, because what people will go is they'll go, well, a bit annoyed with the national government for the punitive taxes, but on the other hand, my local mayor is doing quite well and he's Labour.
Yeah, indeed. And I think that's a valid point to make. And at the end of the day, what you get with Labour, sadly, is state-sponsored growth. They believe that growth should be achieved by state-sponsored funding, and that can only be achieved by taking our taxpayers' money, and spending it. So that's not a working formula for the long term.
How long has that got, though, before it all comes crashing down and reality hits?
Well, if he goes full on, I think pretty soon. I don't think he will last long. But if he becomes the chameleon that he always is and shifts his policies, he might try and stay in power for a bit longer. But I think I'd be very worried for people. I think you should start saving your money, because Burnham will try and take it. OK, well, that's Mike Salem, political analyst. Are you all right to stay over the break and come back and talk some more? Yeah, happy to. If you have me on. Yes, no, actually, I've changed my mind. No, we'll be back with Mike Salem, political analyst. Salem's like Andre Nash on Talk. Back with Mike after this.
Across the UK, on DAB+, on YouTube, on your mobile, and on your side. This is Talk.
This Talk. Mike Salem is still at CPAC, and I think we've got a couple of clips for you, Mike, to respond to. Asher, what have we got? We've got Andy Burnham saying Britain took a series of wrong turns. This is where he said the 70s was better than the 80s. Let's have a look. Show the dog the rabbit. Press play.
I am clear. Britain took a series of wrong turns in the 1980s. Political power was centralised, and economic power was privatised. The country surrendered control of the essentials: housing, water, energy, transport, and left people exposed to higher costs. That in turn led to the concentration of more wealth and power in the hands of fewer people and fewer.
Mike, I've got quite a strong view on this. I'm not as anti what Burnham said, perhaps, as you might think, simply because a large number of businesses that were privatised are no longer in British hands and have actually been nationalised by sovereign wealth funds. Now, I don't believe that energy should be owned by the British government, but I don't believe it should be owned by the French government either. And so, you know, where does that leave me?
I think I share your concern. I hear your views, and I think to some extent Burnham might have been right on the evolution, because remember, Thatcher also abolished London Assembly. But I cannot accept that the problems of today's time comes from the 80s. What Thatcher did was to transform our economy from a stagnant, poor economy into a high service sector economy that has been the top financial sector, one of the top financial sectors in the world.
But aren't we now seeing the following problem? One of the problems with the privatised businesses was that they were operating in a way that was just for the workers rather than actually for the people that were the consumers of it. And so you end up in a situation where, you know, I mean, a lot of industries operate the way the London Underground operates now. That is to say that the most important thing is that the workers get what they want. Yeah. The less important thing is the passengers get what they want. Yeah. And, of course, there is a big loss in the middle of it.
And that was the unions in the 70s destroyed the industry because the workers were no good. The unions sort of paralysed British industry. And that looks like what Burnham wants to bring back the power of the unions that Maggie broke and actually caused a bit of a success in some areas.
Indeed, and that's what you get when you nationalise industry or keep it under a quasi-national state, like the London Underground at the moment, which is still sponsored by the Mayor of London. So they make a loss each year, and all they care about is the welfare of their employees.
Drivers on 100,000 a year, some of them with overtime. They start on about 70, 80 grand.
Indeed, and the reality is most of the public is frustrated because they see lots of people bumping the train and they pay for it. And, you know, the reason is, well, we have to fit a higher bill than those who bump the train and evade thousands of pounds of fares each year. And the solution is to actually privatise it and make sure that it's
I'm sorry, but I've got to say my experience in Waterloo Station and indeed in London Bridge Station is that, and indeed in Slough, I suppose, is that the ticket barrier officers are racist. If a white kid has forgotten his ticket, he goes through the mill. If a black kid pushes through the barrier, nobody cares.
Well, actually, I've seen them open the barriers for people.
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on anecdotal experience. And I think that the thing that's being told to TfL staff, to my understanding, is for them not to interfere. Like with shoplifting, where the security are asked not to.
So
the violent people get away with
it. What I don't understand about any of that is I get the double whammy. So I have to pay for people not paying the fare, and then I have to pay for security to not enforce not paying the fare. My view, if I took control of a rail company now, is I would just sack all the security and just say, well, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll get a video of all the fare dodgers, and we'll just put up signs saying these are the thieves.
But it's ridiculous. The more violent you are, because they say, oh, God, if you're worried about, you know, endangering yourself, don't challenge them. So actually, if you're a violent person, you get in free, and if you're like me and Andre, you know, peace-loving, we get wrestled to the floor.
Yeah, I think it's a systematic thing. It's not an individual thing. I think these organisations tell their staff not to interfere. Indeed, and that's the problem.
Yeah, but it's profiling. You know what I mean? The little old lady who hasn't got a ticket, they'll do her. So that's the thing. They can't be doing stuff like that.
I think the concern is whether the law's been applied consistently, and I think I share that.
Well, it isn't. It isn't. It's our job to pay the bill, and it's for a migrant to enjoy the benefits.
Yeah, and I think that's why many people are frustrated, because the law is not being applied consistently. And until the law become clear and consistent, then people will start to. But it's
not going to. We are now like the Western Roman Empire, in that each individual group is going to have its own separate and different and distinct treatment by the police, and indeed its own distinct laws. And so what you will say is, well, look. And I don't believe it's fair to say young black men are intimidating, but if you are a young black man, you are officially counted as intimidating, therefore you don't have to pay your fare. If you are a young white man, you're deemed not intimidating, and by the way, that's not correct all the time, but you do have to pay your fare. And it's just as simple as that, and it becomes a racist system where you might as well say, we have published a file now to say if you're black, you don't have to pay, if you're white, you do have to pay. Now, of course, there are some people who, I mean, the vast majority of people who are black do pay, right? But you don't have to. It's voluntary for you, whereas it's mandatory for white people.
I think it's mandatory to pay for everyone, regardless of your race. It's just that, sadly, the law's not being applied consistently, and I think there are different expectations. And what we need to do, actually, is we need to encourage that everyone should pay the fare, and make sure that everyone is tackled effectively. And if people are not being criminalised for the behaviour that they do, it allows people to grow with that behaviour and behave worse.
Why would they pay if it's free, basically? Because it's
right. Let's go to the next clip.
Okay, now this clip, you probably saw this, but let's hear Farage calling Burnham a chameleon.
Watched his acceptance speech earlier on today, and I have to say, I find the whole thing utterly vacuous. He is the great chameleon of British politics, capable of being all things.
Yep, he can just change. They called him. What's his face? Starmer already forgotten. Captain Flip Flop. I think they call this guy Mr. Flip Flop as well. He calls himself King of Manchester, but he just has any opinion that fits the day that he wakes up, doesn't he? He doesn't actually have any convictions.
And that's extremely worrying, because I think at a time where leaders have lacked backbone to actually lead public discourse and change hearts and minds, we have seen leaders that are driven by polling, leaders that are driven by what's the popular policy of the day. And that would be quite concerning, because I would like a leader who actually has a plan for the future. And I think this is where I will give the Conservatives some credit, because they have been asking for Burnham to come to Parliament and lay his plans down, and he hasn't been able to do so. And he's been refusing to take questions from the media. So the markets aren't particularly keen on having him, because they don't know what his plans are. And if he's going to flip-flop and be like a chameleon, then it's very concerning for those who want to invest in this country and for those who want to work in this country. So we need to work out what his policies are, and he needs to make his decision pretty quickly.
And his cabinet, who is going to be in the cabinet? You know, they're rebelling about who he wants as Chancellor. They want Ed Miliband.
Please, not Ed Miliband.
I know,
please.
I mean, the market doesn't want that.
Ed Miliband, I believe, I've said this before, I believe by the end of his career, Ed Miliband will have killed 100,000 people because of his crazy green energy policies that freeze people in the winter and cook them in the summer. You know, he will be one of the biggest. I mean, every political leader, their decisions kill people. So let's just be clear on that. And it's not just in a war. But Ed Miliband, I think, could easily top 100,000 people.
It's just not easy being in a position of power. And I think that's what politicians need to understand. That whatever decision you make, you will annoy someone, and there will be consequences to your actions. And it's not like doing any other job, because the consequences of your actions, as you say, Andre, can lead to death. And politicians need to be aware of that when they're making their decisions. And I think politicians these days don't, because they're too fussed about whether they'll be in office next day or not. But I think in the last hour, I've read that Angela Rayner might become health secretary on Monday. So that might be something for us to look out for.
Yeah.
She is as thick as the wall.
You can't really have a go.
I only said it so I can hear your impression.
I'm so sorry.
I'm
so sorry. I hate when people do repetitious stuff, but I can't help myself.
But you got to forgive Miliband. It's not really his fault. I mean, you know, he's an irrational man. But let's have a listen to Farage on his motives. Run the VT. Press play on the video. OK, well, we're not going to be doing that.
I'm doing this not because I want rank, title or position. I'm doing this because I fear this great country that we love. I can see this country. We are going down the drain. Britain is broken. We have to wake up to that fact, acknowledge the extent of the illness. And until we do that, we'll never be able to put the right cures in place. I'm doing this because I believe in Britain. I'm doing this because I believe we can turn this around and get this country back on the right track.
Will they wake up and come together the right? Because that's the only chance, really. I mean, maybe even restore and reform. There was talks of that, and the Tories. Was there any unification of the right at the CPAC conference?
Not quite yet, and I think this is something that CPAC has a unique selling point to do. At some point, the right needs to agree on how best to defeat the left, and that is, I think, an important agenda for future CPACs, and which is why I personally am glad to see that it has started for the first time this year here in the UK, and I'm hoping that we do a few more in the next few years so we can determine how best we can bring about ideas of freedom of expression, freedom of speech, free markets, limited government, and freedom of religion. So this year has been pretty... Farage has been pretty political on his stance because he's got an election to fight. They were expecting as well to fight another by-election, but Patrick Spence MP has been cleared of his accusations, so there won't be an election there. And Reform has been quite disappointed with that. So it's been pretty political this year on Reform's side, but I'm hoping in future years we can work out an arrangement to kick the left out, particularly if Burnham is as bad as we perceive him to be.
Are you confident that they will come together and not stand in each other's seats and clear the way for it to win, and then agree maybe to separate and fight each other for who's going to run things? But are you confident they will come together in the next 2 years? And do you think maybe Burnham might call an election early if things, for some ridiculous reason, go well? There's some sort of honeymoon period that Starmer obviously never had.
Well, I think firstly on tactical voting, historically, I don't think it has worked. So I do encourage political parties to stand and people to make their own minds.
But that's what happened in the last general election. If they wouldn't have stood against each other, the right would have won. You know, there would have to have been a coalition with Reform and the Tories, but it would, you know, Starmer wouldn't have got in.
I think that's more of a messaging issue. I think parties need to work on what they need to say and what they stand for. And I think that's what has been missing from the right. We haven't been leading an ideology. We have just been following what has been popular in the opinion polls. And that needs to radically change because that space is being taken up by influencers, by social media creators. And actually, no, we need leaders, politicians to take agency of that, to tell the public what they think the best solution for the country is and to lay their plans nice and clear to the public to try and change their minds. As for the early general election, that might be a possibility. For all we know, Burnham might, crash in the next 4 or 5 weeks. And I think an election would be imminent there because if they can pick an MP between the 400 of them, I don't think they're going to be able to do it after Burnham leaves. So an election early might probably be increasing in chances more so than ever.
OK, Mike, well, look, we've got to go. That's Mike Salem, political analyst. Have you got anything you'd like to say before we send you into the night?
Well, read, be informed, and think with your brains and follow your gut.
Thanks, man. That is Mike Salem, political commentator at the CPAC conference. After the break, we're going to talk to Sarah Antoinette, online commentator, about Britain and its role in the slave trade. Should we pay reparations to? And when do we get our reparations for all the slavery that came from this country? And when are the... Anyway, we'll talk about it with Sarah Antoinette. Let them eat cake after this.
Across the UK, on DAB+, on YouTube, on your mobile, and on your side. This is Talk.
This is really, really interesting, actually. And we've just had a conversation about this. Sarah Antoinette came onto our show the other week because she'd been assaulted on the Underground. And she was, for whatever reason, we'll get into it in a minute, she was motivated to write something about British reparations for slavery. And 100,000 people saw it on Facebook. And I just thought it was really interesting to just come on and talk a little bit about this. Now, we've all got loads to say about it, but I'll tell you what, why don't we just start? Because Sarah's an interesting person who's been on before. Why don't you take it away and explain exactly what happened and why suddenly 100,000 people read whatever it was that you wrote?
Hi.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi there. So I uploaded a video to Facebook yesterday and I was talking about the British Empire and reparations. Now, I've actually been studying this for a long time. It's something I feel very, very passionate about. And I don't believe in the narrative that is going on in society today, which basically demonizes Britain, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what they're doing. Yeah. They are trying to demonize this country as much as they can with the intention to squeeze as much money as they can out of Britain. When they talk about reparations and when you hear certain politicians, especially on the Labour side, who are talking about giving reparations and billions of pounds to prior colonies, this is something that I have been...
Just a matter of interest. One thing, because you are an expert on it. So I think that I was slightly wrong about these things. So let me tell you what I think, and then you can pull it apart because I know you know more than me. So point number one, I say that the majority of British people, the vast majority, benefited in no way from slavery whatsoever. So slave owners were a small category of people, and most of us are not descended from slave owners. Point number two, Britain became rich because of the Industrial Revolution, which we all did participate in. And there's been a narrative from the political left which says Britain did nothing, Industrial Revolution counted for nothing, none of your family made any money at all. All that happened was you just benefited from slavery. Had it not been for slavery, Britain would be poor and Africa would be rich. OK. The final thing, which I think is worst of all, is when we abolished slavery in the Caribbean. If any of this is wrong, by the way, Sarah, just tell me. We abolished slavery in the Caribbean. And I hadn't realised until recently, we, the British taxpayer, bought every single slave out of slavery and gave the money to the slave owners. Yeah. So what has happened here is we are people who have not benefited from slavery. We are the people that built the country financially, and the people that did benefit from slavery, we literally paid them.
We only finished that debt about 10 years ago. And
so from my point of view, I think that I'm a victim of slavery. So, yeah. I mean, everybody is descended from a slave.
Plus the cost of abolishing it for our economy and the people that lost their lives. Right, in all the other countries that want to continue with slavery, Britain was the light that was the beginning of the end of slavery. We're the last people. We should actually get reparations for that reason alone. And also, no one talks about the British slaves that were taken to Africa around about the same time.
Yeah, so many things to cover here, right? Yeah. So in regard to what you say about only certain people benefiting from the slave trade, you're absolutely right. It was only the wealthiest and the elite who benefited from it.
A lot of the church, a lot of the priests of the Church of England benefited from it.
Yeah. But if you look at the average working class person in Britain back then, in the days of empire, they were engaged in their own form of slavery in the form of bonding, right? Yeah. They didn't have any rights. They had no freedom. They couldn't even get clean water. The people of Britain back then, they were in their own form of slavery. And yet you get this narrative which is trying to punish the people of today, thinking that every single person in Britain was benefiting from the slave trade. No, a tiny minority of people in Britain back then were benefiting from the slave trade. The majority of working class Britons back then were in their own form of slavery.
But I think there is a more significant problem here, and I've said this to people before. But my worry is that when the Soviet Union fell, and you looked at the way that people had been treated, I mean, particularly. It wasn't so much the fall of the Soviet Union that shocked people in Britain. It was actually the fall of communism in Romania, when we saw Nicolae Ceausescu and his unbelievable spending, and the orphanages of Bucharest, where children had been sent mad by literally being sat in cages for years. It was horrendous, and people literally were stunned by that. You're too young, but everybody in Britain saw it and was shocked. At that point, there is no way you can argue that communism is great and that people benefit from it. So what happened after that, I believe, is that people who loved this sort of authoritarian socialism started on a different trajectory. And that was to say, no, it's not that communism is great, it's that capitalism doesn't really deliver any benefits. It's just slavery. That's all that happened. Had there been no slavery, capitalism would have delivered no benefits at all. And I think it's just a different way of advocating for communism.
Yeah, I think there is some truth in what you say. I mean, you also have to look at the facts that, look, the British Empire came to the game very, very late. There were a lot of empires in the Age of Empires. It was a very different time. And to try and judge the empire by the standards of today is honestly, in my opinion, a very stupid thing to do. You can't judge the past of 300 years ago by the standards.
But Sarah, isn't there another thing? Isn't there another thing that we've got that we have to worry very greatly about? There are now more slaves than there ever have been in history. Every year we win the award for having the most slaves in history. What it strikes me as is this. And let me give you an analogy. Let's look at Edward Snowden. Right. Edward Snowden discovers that the United States of America is spying on its own citizens and goes public about it, and then moves to Moscow, where now, literally, they have banned WhatsApp, they have banned Telegram, and you have to use a messaging service called Max, which sends every single thing that you ever say to the FSB. Now, the reason why the NSA, the National Security Agency, or whatever it is, in the United States of America has such a bad reputation and the FSB doesn't, is because in a democratic society, you talk about all of these issues. So in America, they talked about the fact their government was spying on them, whereas in Russia, the government just did it and got away with it.
It's expected anyway.
And so, let me just say this to you. In America, in Britain, in Australia, in the Anglosphere, in Europe, we talked about the evils of slavery and abolished it. In Khartoum, they just ignore it. In Africa, when the slavery exists, they just pretend it's not happening. Yeah. And so what you have is you have the paradox of African countries where slavery is rife pointing at the British, saying, give us reparations for slavery, which would, in of itself, pay to improve their own slave markets. That is the irony of it.
Well, I would invite these African countries to take a look at what their own people were doing in the time of the empire. I'll give you an example. Madam Tinubu of Nigeria, she's a very, very wealthy African woman.
Oh, I know.
What happened was that the British abolished slavery. What did this woman do? She was continuing to sell her own people after the British abolished it. Now, she's successfully managed to do that, and only when the British stepped in to stop her did slavery end in that country. And this is a big thing that people need to understand, right? They demonize this island and they demonize the British Empire, but they don't acknowledge the fact.
How much of it, Sarah, is this belief that white people are all evil and should be eradicated? How much is just straight up racism?
Well, it's just stupid, isn't it?
I mean, there was a British politician here, a black lady who was going on about reparations. They looked into her family in Nigeria, and they were big they were like some kings, and they owned slaves. And the British, I don't know about other Western empires, but the British Empire didn't actually go and catch the slaves. They bought them from the slave markets in Africa that had been captured by other black people. So there's no reparations from them.
I really, really want to point this out, right? Because this is a history that we don't hear about. First of all, that Britain was essentially trying to spread civilization. That's what its interest was. It was about spreading infrastructure, education, sanitation, railways, medicine to these colonies. And I'll tell you this as well. The colonies were not innocent. There was a rebellion in India where they committed the most worst atrocities you can imagine to the English people. There were English settlers of men, women and children who went to India. During a rebellion, the Indians said, we will give you free passage to get out of here. What happened? As soon as they opened that passage, they slaughtered those English people, they kidnapped the women and children, and then when the British came to free them, they massacred the women and children and they threw their bodies in the sea. The same thing happened in America. The same thing happened in 1600s. They went to Virginia. The Native American tribe slaughtered 350 men, women,
let's just be clear.
And we don't hear about this. We never hear about this.
Let's just be clear on this. If there was an incident in Lahore where a team of British men had gone over and raped 500,000 children, then that would be something that we would be paying reparations for. And yet the people of Rochdale will get nothing. More next.
Across the UK, on DAB+, on YouTube, on your mobile, and on your side. This is Talk.
Yes, this is Talk. Sir, I slightly cut you off, but I just felt it had an energy to it at the end of it, that little bit. But we're with Sarah Antoinette. Sarah, look, this is really interesting about your slavery reparations thing. What I might do is I might come down and actually film some stuff with you for my other TV show, which would be fantastic. But what I was going to say to you now is we know you, or I know you, because of the fact that you were abused on the underground with your mother. Tell us a little bit about what happened, and have we had any updates?
Yeah, well, put it this way. The case has been dropped.
Of course.
After we did the last show, I was contacted by the British Transport Police, who decided they would then investigate it after initially telling me they wouldn't.
Oh, I see.
Very interesting,
Is that from being on this show, do you think?
I think so. I think so.
Good.
Now, what's interesting to me is that I waited for a long time because the police, the person who was assigned to my case, he was on holiday for a couple of weeks. So when he came back, he then said to me, well, we're going to drop this case. And I said, why? And he said, because we've looked at the CCTV footage and there's nothing there. And do you know what he said to me? He said to me that they only asked for footage from one carriage. They didn't even ask for the footage for the whole train. And he based that footage on what I said. He said to me, where is this footage? I said, somewhere in the middle, because I didn't know the exact carriage I was in.
Of course you wouldn't. Why would you?
They basically asked for CCTV footage from one carriage, which wasn't even guaranteed to have that footage on it.
Could you have got the footage yourself? I mean, if maybe it was deleted, would they not give? Could you not have a right under the Data Protection Act?
No, what you could do is you could make a subject access request for all footage of you, but they would pixelate out everyone else.
See, this is what really got to me when he spoke to me. Now, I'm sorry, but this man was very rude when he spoke to me. This officer.
Well, no, just don't worry, we can name him. Who is he? What's his name?
His name is Abdul Monan.
His name is PC Abdul Monan of the British Transport Police.
That is correct.
Yeah, OK, he's a wrong one. So let's just keep
Remind us what happened then.
So what happened was he came back to me and he said, we're not going to take this further because we don't have the evidence. And the evidence was there. When she slapped me, it was there. There were loads of people on the train.
Did you get the sense that he was on her side?
I did, yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Now, I don't want to. Do you know what? Do you know what I think? Do you know what? This is what I honestly think, and I'll be totally straight with you. I think that the British Transport Police are so ineffective, and that I think there are a lot of people, hundreds of people every single day who go through this type of thing, and it doesn't get reported and nothing gets done about it. And he tried to fob me off. And do you know what he said to me on the phone? When I said I was going to complain about this and take this to his superior, he rang me and he said, listen, Sarah, I've been doing this for 21 years. Right.
Well, you should have said, and if you're still only a PC, you're probably not very good at it.
Yeah,
that's what I would have said. That's what I would have said. 21 years a PC, you must be crap.
I wish I had said that. And do you know what I said to him? I said, do you know what? It sounds to me like you're on the side of the criminal because I've really got to fight for this. right? I've really got to fight for this to get justice for this. Now, he said to me that they were not going to get that CCTV footage. Why? Because they've got to request it from the Elizabeth line. And then he said that apparently they delete it after 26 days anyway, right? Now,
so what PC Monon has done is deliberately waited for the 26 days and then wrote to you.
They just want an easy life. It's a bit like the guys letting people through. They don't want to have the hassle. But, I mean, could you have asked for it like a subject access request immediately? And maybe that's the advice. If this happens to anyone else, what should they demand the footage immediately so it gets stopped?
Well, you see, what you've just said to me, he didn't say to me, yeah? The only thing he said to me was that we're closing the case. And I had a big argument with him on the phone.
Oh, I had that. Listen.
We're running the footage on the screen, by the way.
I wanted to privately prosecute a terrorist, and the Thames Valley Police deliberately waited until 3 days before the 6-month statutory limit to dump me. I won't explain the full details, but it meant I didn't have the time to do what I wanted to do, and they got the terrorist off the hook.
See what I mean? This is clearly the state of this country and the state of London. Now, I said to him, I'm going to take this to the Mayor of London. I said, I'll take this straight to Sadiq Khan. And he said, listen, be careful, because Sadiq will be well up for this and he'll probably prosecute you for something.
He'll say, I don't know what you're talking about. Never heard of it. What's the train?
Let Sadiq Khan try doing that, because I know I've got truth on my side. Truth is on my side and the evidence is there. So if Sadiq Khan wants to try and prosecute me, I would love to see him try.
Have you got witnesses as well? Have you got the names of witnesses who would back your case?
That's the problem. I don't have any. I don't have any witnesses. I wish that I'd got them. I didn't get them at the time. I assumed naively and stupidly that they would have got the information when the guards got there, but they didn't do that.
Well, if you're watching and you were there, contact us and we can put you in touch.
Do you recognise yourself on the camera?
On the footage that we've just shown, yeah. Give us a ring, and if you're a witness...
Don't phone Crime Stoppers. Call 0344 499 1000 if you recognise yourself. Now, let's just think about this. How long ago? Was it 6 months ago?
It was about 6 weeks ago, actually.
Yeah. Well, what you could do is we could probably... I mean, maybe I could put you in touch with a private investigation firm who could probably track down this person, run their own police investigation, and then privately prosecute them and just leave the police to it. The only problem you'd have... I'm going to be totally honest with you, because this person, we said Wallahi, we know they're a Muslim, and the CPS will not be keen on prosecuting a Muslim. The Crown Prosecution Service is so dodgy.
Well, let me tell you, I've got to tell you this, right? On my page, now I reach millions of views every month on my page, right?
Yeah.
Now I put up a post where I had an altercation with a Muslim woman in a doctor's surgery a couple of weeks ago. And do you know what happened? I happened to mention in this post that she was a Muslim. Now, because I said she was a Muslim, do you have any idea how many people attacked me for that? I've received violent threats, sexually violent threats, racist abuse for the crime of naming a Muslim as a Muslim. That is the state of society.
What were you naming them as that for? What reason? I mean,
No, she was just saying this is a Muslim.
Right.
Yeah, but you're not allowed to say someone is a Muslim anymore.
Yeah,
you have got to avoid the fact they're a Muslim. You're only allowed to say it was a woman. If you say she was a Muslim, you're going to get penalised.
No, my favourite was the woman who said, I go out every single day and I run down the street in Lycra and there are men spitting at me in the street. It's misogyny. Interesting. What did the blokes look like? No description whatsoever. So sorry. Was it Asher Gould and his brother Johnny?
I said I'll stop doing. I'm going to stop doing that. Yeah.
Who is it in East London who's spitting at a woman in Lycra in the streets? I wonder. Oh, it might be the local Jewish population. No, they've been eradicated years ago, haven't they? But we all know that it's somebody who's jumped over the border 15 minutes ago who now wants Britain to be more like Pakistan. We all know it. I don't know why we're even pretending.
But here's the thing in society today, we're not allowed to say it.
No, you're not allowed to say it.
Right now, people actually thought, right, that this was a colour thing. Yeah, white people can't say this, and ethnic minorities.
But you're mixed race, obviously. You know, you're a mixed race.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you this now: it's got nothing to do with colour anymore, because the amount of abuse that I've been getting, mixed race woman, for speaking the truth, has been off the roof. It's not about colour, it's about ideology.
Yeah.
These left-wing radical leftists, they are the problem. They're a poison in society today. That is what I have learned the last few weeks. The amount of abuse that they send out, and they are some of the most racist people out there.
Be kind, hashtag be kind.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Well, of course they're racist. And you were with your mother with this altercation. How's your mother? And are you going travelling with her on the trains anymore, or is she?
No. I think we, when you go through something like that, you don't really feel comfortable going on public transport. Not in Sadiq Khan's London. Not in London today. No.
I mean, the Elizabeth line's nice, but some of the clientele on there leave a lot to.
I'll tell you what. Apparently, this girl who did this, apparently she's known to people. I've had people saying they recognise her under my posts. Right? I've had people saying to me this happens all the time on the Elizabeth line. This wonderful line that was created only a few years ago.
Do you remember the Peckham Terminator? Can we get a video of the Peckham Terminator?
Who's the Peckham Terminator?
The Peckham Terminator, apparently, he was this guy, looked like H from Steps, and he used to get pissed up every Saturday night, and he used to get the bus to Peckham, right,
Maybe it was H from Steps.
and start attempting to have fights with everybody. But what he did was, the reason he called him the Peckham Terminator was because he pushed the door of the bus, the side door, and smashed the window, and then walked through the window. You know the way the Terminator walks through the door? He was the Peckham Terminator. My mate met him at a party, and he said, actually, he's a fundamentally very boring person. But I'd love to get a video.
Apart from when he gets drunk.
I'd love to get a video of the Peckham Terminator. Let's see if we'll show that at some point. Sarah Antoinette, look, how worried are you about the future of this country?
I can see why everybody is worried.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm not blind to what's going on. I've got the experience myself, don't I? However, I have a lot of faith in this island, and I often talk about it on my Facebook page. I believe very strongly that this island is going to come through because you see the revolution is already here. It's already here.
I agree.
And I will tell you this now. I am a very big reform supporter. I believe in that party. I don't believe a single thing that's said about that party. I don't believe all the trashy things going on in the media about Nigel Farage. I don't believe any of it, right? I believe that Reform is the party for Britain. I believe that change will come when Reform is voted in. And I believe the mentality of this island will change. And trust me when I say that things will get better, but we've got a tough fight to get through until we get to that day.
And I think a bit to remove people, it'll be easy. You just say, look, if you're not born here, if you're not from here, you don't get social welfare. Millions of people will leave then. Because it won't be the gravy train.
If you're not willing to assimilate into Britain, whatever your colour, religion, whatever else, what in the world are you doing here? Right? What are you doing? If you're not willing, if you're here for rent, if you treat this island like it's a place to rent, you've got no loyalty to this land, what in the world are you doing here? It doesn't matter what your colour or religion or background is.
Exactly.
If you're in England, if you're in Britain, then you need to be loyal to this country. Right?
Exactly.
That's what needs to happen.
Thank
but there
you.
are too many of them who don't think like that.
That is Sarah Antoinette, online commentator. We'll be in touch again soon. But after the break, we'll be taking a look at tomorrow's front pages with political commentator Kieran Galpin. So stay tuned and call us, because we'll be taking all of your calls. 0344 499 1000. You can leave a voice note on that if you're a bit scared. At Virtual Ash, at Andre JP Walker on Twitter. And you can have a look at Andre's YouTube page. But stay tuned. After the news, it's Kieran Galpin and tomorrow's papers. It's Talk. Give us a bell.
across the UK, on DAB+, on YouTube, on your mobile, and on your side. This is Talk.
Here's a bit of music.
Apologies if there's been some gremlins in the system. Don't worry about it. This is a press preview with Andre Walker and Asher Gould. If what I said during the break went out live, I still think it's a major achievement, and I'm perfectly happy with it.
Yeah.
So this is Andre Walker, and we've got Asher Gould and Kieran Galpin here as well. Okay, so everyone's going on about the football. Are you still bothered? Were you ever bothered?
I was bothered. I was getting increasingly bothered, and us playing Argentina, I got very excited about, obviously.
Do you care about the sign they held up? I don't.
You don't?
No.
I do. I was outrageous because it was just such sour grapes, you know. It's so shoving it in our faces, you know.
Yeah, but not really, because we've got the Falklands. It's just admitting that we
in victory, you know. Don't shove it in our faces.
Well, that's our problem. We go all sportsmanship, and they go no, win, and they win. That's our mentality.
No,
maybe
win like a gentleman. Win like a gentleman.
Yeah, but you don't win like. Look, we don't win by being gentlemen. They win by not being gentlemen. That's
the ref let them off
Real
as well.
soccer ball.
The ref let them off in the first half. They were nasty.
Well, they're on their side, aren't they? FIFA are on Argentina's side.
About that.
The Sun, we should. This is Clarkson. We should ignore the RG foolishness and gather round as one, hoping and praying with all our hearts that they get absolutely smashed by Spain tomorrow. Nice one, Clarkson. What did you think about Thomas Tuchel's 15-minute decision to basically try and defend against one of the most attacking sides in football?
I thought it was very foolish. But I think the pile on him afterwards has been unjustified.
Well, he did what he said he wouldn't. What Southgate did wrong, he did exactly the same thing.
We can't sack him over 15 minutes of football.
It locked us out of the World Cup. That's what happens.
But
that's show business. You're only as good as your last show.
That's true, but he got us to the semi-finals, and yes, he made the wrong decision. But I believe that he can learn from it and do better next time.
I keep saying the same thing to every football commentator, that my dad knows a little bit about football, and what he said is, in the past, England was lesser than the sum of its parts. That is to say, they were individually brilliant players, and as a team, they weren't terrible. They were just above average, right? Yeah. But he said that Tuchel is the first manager in modern history who's actually managed and actually built a team. Now, it strikes me that given everyone that's come on so far from TalkSport or anywhere has said, yes, I agree with your dad, it strikes me that given he made one mistake, maybe we don't want to sack him, because we're talking about the previous 30 years of managers having all been terrible.
Yeah, although I do think Gareth Southgate laid the foundation for the success we've had, and obviously Southgate got us to semi-finals.
Well, it was luck. No, we had an easy run, and then you look at the final. It was exactly like I was at the final. It was exactly like basically Argentina. We sat back thinking we control them. And the thing is, we've got this arrogance, and we've got to face it. We're just not as good. The last four, we're just not as good. The players aren't as good, but yet we get this overblown opinion of our premier stars, the hype. We believe the hype, but we're not. We don't have. We have Haaland. He plays in the Premier, but he's not English. Yeah, we've got Bellingham. I don't think Harry Kane's, they're going about the best. He's a great striker, but he's not a Haaland, is he? He's not the one. They have Messi in Argentina, who had loads of other good players, but they get outshone by Messi, and they're all better than us. Spain,
I disagree with that.
Spain, Argentina, France. You're saying they're not better than us? I
think Argentina have Messi.
And they have lots of other players.
The rest of the squad is not leagues apart from England's squad.
Well, I don't think he even scored the other day, Messi. He set them up, but I don't think he scored.
He played so well.
Well, exactly, but it was the other players that were banging him in, and, banging him in amazingly.
But Messi was running the middle of the pitch. I mean, you can't...
midfield, he was running things, but, OK, we'll look at Spain and France. We're not a patch on, France, definitely.
No, but, it would have been an excellent run to get to the final. It would have been really great for us.
Would we have beaten the Spanish?
No, I don't think we would have.
We've got France, haven't we, tomorrow?
They played very well in this.
See, we
do have France.
That was the Ben Fletcher view, which was we beat Argentina and lose to Spain.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's very likely. I mean, Spain looked very, very good in the semi-final, playing proper football, slick, good passing. Rodri looked
France
great in
weren't really there, though, were they?
No, France weren't really there.
Maybe that was because Spain just wrapped them up. But, another 4 years, 60 years of hurt. And the other story in the Sun... So tomorrow we got France, basically, for the wooden spoon match that no one really cares about for who comes third.
I would put my effort into that.
Yeah, well, they will, because it's on the world stage, but it's for third and fourth place, you know what I mean? But...
fans don't care.
Fans. So you think Spain will win? Will beat Argentina in the final?
I do. I hope they do. I'll be supporting them just like Jeremy Clarkson.
But you never know with FIFA on Argentina.
I wonder whatever happens to third-place medals. Do people keep them or just throw them away?
Throw them in the bin. If you're in the dressing room, go in the bin after the FA Cup and all that, you'll find the medals in there.
Is that right?
Arsene Wenger said a lot of the players, they just throw them in the bin. So if you're the guy cleaning up the dressing room, you get a few medals.
Do you know what I'm going to do? Right, while you're talking, I'm going to go on eBay and try and find some football loser medals. See if you can actually buy them.
Oh, yeah, you can, yeah. Anyway, the other story in the Sun says he has a plan. It's back to the 70s. This is Andy Burnham. The Burn Supremacy is the Sun's headline. Andy Burnham yesterday secured the job of Prime Minister without either a general election or a proper Labour Party contest. Despite having no personal mandate, he pledged the most significant change in politics in the past 40 years, turning the clock back to the 70s, which he thinks was great. The former Greater Manchester Mayor will enter Downing Street on Monday, but has yet to set out a plan for running the country. I don't think he's done it yet. Very similar to Starmer. Not a single MP stood against him after Sir Keir Starmer was forced out in a coup. So what's your view on Burnham?
Well, he's stuck between two positions, right? One is the position he's taken here, as they say, that he's promised the most significant change in 40 years. But he's got no mandate. He's got no backing from the wider general public, apart from the people voted for him in Makerfield. Yeah. And so either he doesn't really change that much because he wants to stick to the manifesto that Starmer had, or he promises radical change, but then there's no legitimacy in
There's
that.
no money as well.
So he's caught, and there's no money.
And he can't cut welfare because the backbenchers will revolt.
No, and he's spoken about things that are expensive, like nationalising public utilities, taking public control of public utilities. He's talked about social care and wanting to invest in that. These are expensive things to do, and he's not going to have the money to do it.
Can I tell you what I said to him?
Go on.
Let me tell you what I said to him about a year ago. I said to him, I think you would make a big mistake if you attack the right-wing media, because your big rival is Sadiq Khan, and they hate him, whereas they don't hate you. And he went, duly noted, mate.
Not yet, anyway. Do you think he'll have a honeymoon period, do you think?
No.
Do you not think? I think he might, because he's got that sort of, people might go, Andy Burnham.
Well, the thing is, we might not know that much about what he's going to be like until September, when Parliament returns from recess and things actually start get going. So that might be his honeymoon, where we're focused slightly on other political events, and he's not. The Parliament's not sitting, so he gets away with it scot-free initially. At least
he's done some bold stuff, right?
He's spoken about bold things.
No. I mean, I think moving Media City. Moving Television Centre to Media City in Manchester was a bold move. I mean, I personally think...
Was that him, was it?
Yeah, it was, yeah. If it was me, do you know what I'd do? Imagine I was Andy Burnham. Imagine I believed in all the Andy Burnham stuff. I would sell Whitehall and move it all out. I mean, all of these big government departments with all these big fatties...
Nice hotels, couldn't they? Yeah,
absolutely. Well, have you been to the old War Office?
No.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's now a Raffles. It's got a series of excellent bars. And I will tell you, a bar and sushi place with a specialist sake bar is way more use than the Whitehall Government Department to most people.
You see, my trouble with this is that he's spoken about devolution, he's spoken about moving things to Manchester. That might be a nice idea. I just don't think it's the priority for this country right now. There are deep-seated problems in this country that need quick and radical fixes. And to focus on devolution is not the solution right now.
I think what you've got to do is you've got to shake up the government, and what better way than sacking the fatties and moving everything to Durham?
But you think that would solve any of this country?
Yes, I do. I think it would solve...
But they're all his mates, aren't they?
I think it would solve a lot of problems. I think actually the Whitehall mentality of the public are stupid, we know best. I think what you do is oof all them out and move the government. I mean, to be fair, the DVLA in Swansea continues to be a success, right? Media City has really...
People just commute from London every weekend.
Not to Swansea.
No, to the Media City.
Yeah.
The trouble with Media City and the trouble with number 10 North, if Burnham does move number 10 operation to North, is you're going to lose a lot of good people because they just don't want to move out of London. I think you will.
Are you really?
I think you will.
No, you're not.
You're going to move.
We don't need any of them.
And also, the trouble is, you're talking about moving the department, but the trouble is really what we need with Whitehall is actually a load of them to be sacked and for it to be a smaller operation.
He's not going to do that, is he?
Yeah, what I would do is, do you know what I'd do? I'd do what the Labour Party did under Tony Blair, right, when he was in opposition. He'd say, right, we're going to keep Transport House to Labour Party headquarters. That's all great, yeah. All you big trade union fatties, you can all stay there. That's great. And then what we'll do is we're going to have my own election department, which is going to be in Millbank Tower, and I'm going to move some of you over there, and all you great ones can all stay in Transport House. And slowly but surely, Transport House got sadder and sadder and sadder until they sold it. And that's what you need to do. You need to just say, right, we're going to set up a whole new government department in I don't know, Wigan or something, probably quite popular with Andy Burnham, in Wigan, and we're going to start transferring. We can transfer some people over, but the rest of you can stay there, and then just, you know, don't pay for any maintenance in Whitehall. And just it gets more craggy and old, and, you know, Eileen with the tea drops dead and all that sort of thing. They'll get the message. They'll get the message.
Did you hear him talking about making tea? He said you had milk and the tea bag before the water. He really doesn't know what he's on about. I mean, and why talk about tea trying to make yourself sound down to earth?
The reason you put your tea bag in the milk, do you know the reason?
Well, because of the crockery
bag.
thing.
That was Burnham's justification.
No, it's because your crockery won't take full hot water. No, but
that doesn't mean you don't brew the tea properly. He was actually saying put the bag in with the milk. I mean, you still brew the tea properly, put the milk into... Anyway, look, forget about that. He's just...
I personally would use a teapot.
Exactly, and loose leaf. Anyway, in the FT, Burnham puts focus on...
No, do you know what I actually drink?
Oh, yeah, I have loose leaf. Yeah,
right, I've got a slush maker.
You've got a cocktail maker.
How does that relate to tea?
No, it doesn't make tea.
It makes cocktails.
So I've got of all the stupid things I bought, and I bought. Oh God!
Bought a lot of stupid.
Sorry,
things.
I think you've pulled my microphone up.
Sorry, man, I do that sometimes.
Okay, so what I did. So what I've got is I've got a fruit dehydrator. You know, so if you make cocktails, I've got a cocktail machine.
Yeah.
I've got a slush maker. I've got an ice machine. I've got I can do everything.
And how often does
you could have made a killing in this heat wave?
What's the slush machine?
Yeah.
Every day.
Every day?
Every day.
What do you have? What, a slush puppy?
A pint of slush.
What, strawberry
Alcoholic.
and all that?
No.
Okay.
No. And well, I'll tell you what I do. I get Vimto.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And some freshly squeezed lemon.
Yeah.
And turn it into the slush.
Quite sophisticated.
Is this what you're drinking in the heat wave?
Yeah. Well, actually, do you know what I did in the heat wave? I think I offended everyone because I just sat in my underwear on the sofa in the lounge with the air conditioning on my face, drinking a slush all day.
That's a northern thing. Bernard Manning used to sit there in his pants.
And my family came to visit, and I didn't care. So I just went, I'm sorry,
Too hot?
Yeah, I mean, I'm willing to buy new underpants and not scraggy, but unfortunately, you're just going to have to observe my body if you wish to come to my house, because I don't care.
They're all beautiful in their own way.
I don't care. If you're offended by a hairy back, do not come and visit my house.
Yeah. Burnham, yes, this is the FT. He pledged to be a pro-business Prime Minister as he was crowned Labour Party leader. Anyway, he's going to bolster the business department and reinstate Jonathan Reynolds as business secretary, and he's going to basically reindustrialise. This is all pie in the sky stuff, isn't it? I mean, we're not going to reindustrialise. We've got our energy is 5 times costlier than many other, like America, so you can't compete industrially with anyone with our energy prices as they are.
No, you can't.
No, I agree. There are a couple of things that are interesting about what Bernard's been announcing, though. One is that in this announcement that he is going to get Reynolds as a business secretary, potentially, and also he wants to beef up the business department, is that he wants to move some of the energy responsibilities from the energy department to the business department.
Oh, that would be helpful.
So the North Sea oil will start pumping again?
And he suggested that he would approve some North Sea drilling again. So if he's learned a lesson on that would be
I think Andy Burnham, probably is more Miliband than Farage when it comes to the green agenda, but nobody, no Prime Minister can succeed if they were to follow everything that Ed Miliband wants to do on green energy. It can't be done.
So I think both Farage and Miliband have quite principled stances. My impression from Burnham so far is that he's more reactive to public opinion.
Well,
I think he's seen.
What about
the
Tony Blair? Because Tony Blair advises against the net zero thing now, doesn't he?
Yeah. So
and
I
he's
think
sort of a disciple of Blair, isn't he?
Yeah, but I think Burnham is also reactive to public opinion, and he's seen how disastrous this net zero policy has been for Starmer's government in terms of popularity and in terms of the attacks that
the economy.
I think
Red Ed has got.
The real stupid thing about Ed Miliband is that he failed to recognise the value of incrementalism.
Yeah.
So what we're doing, I mean, the utterly crazy bit is that we are buying oil and gas from Norway, from basically oil and gas fields that we could drill ourselves, but we've chosen not to because of net zero. And you think, well, hang on a second, but we're effing drilling the thing. They're drilling it on our behalf. It's our oil and gas, and they're drilling it.
Yeah, and also, I mean, endangering our national security and not having a sufficiently resilient grid as well. I mean, there's so many downsides to trying to do things too fast, and that's why public opinion has whipped against it.
Right, we've got to take a little breaky, but we're going to come back with all the days, tomorrow's papers. 03444 99 1000. Kieran Galpin is with us. It's Andre Nash on Talk. Back in a couple of minutes.
Across and on your side. This is Talk.
Yes, this is the press preview with Andre Walker, Asher Gould and Kieran Galpin. Asher, I think you've got to retell the story you just told during the break.
Well, we talk about Crouch End, which is an area in London, sort of a bit arty, actors-y sort of thing, muesli munchers. And but back in the 80s or 90s, Dave Stewart had a studio down there, I think with Annie Lennox, and Bob Dylan was going to work with him, and he went down to Crouch End and he got the address wrong, because there's a Crouch Hill Road and there's Crouch End Road, you know, there's all... And he went to the wrong door and he said, "Is Dave in?" And the wife went, "No, he's not in yet. You come and wait in the kitchen." He'd gone to the wrong house, but the bloke who lived there was called Dave. So when Dave did get back, his wife said, "By the way, welcome home, Dave. Bob Dylan's waiting for you in the kitchen." And he went in, there's Bob Dylan, and they're going, you know, looking confused, but, you know,
I heard an incredibly similar story. My mate Andy Stevenson used to be the Member of Parliament for Pendle, but before that, he was the association chairman in Tatton when George Osborne was the local Member of Parliament and Chancellor of the Exchequer, right? So apparently they organised a bit of a do for George Osborne, a fundraiser in the constituency, because Andy's dad's house was quite big. So apparently George Osborne gets the drive, the door's open, he walks in, he goes into the kitchen and he goes, "All right, hi." And they went, "Oh, hi, George." And he went, Get the champagne out, come on, let's get the party started. I know I'm a bit early." And he said he sat there, he said he was half a bottle in, and they went, he went, well, where's everybody else? They went, what do you mean? And he went, is this Malcolm Stevenson's house? He went, no. And he said, that's weird. So the Chancellor of the Exchequer walked into their house, went into the kitchen, took some champagne and just started downing it. And they said, well, giving you the Chancellor of the Exchequer, we just didn't feel we could tell you to get lost. Crazy.
So, incredible. He was going to move there, apparently. But there was another story in Crouch End. When Salman Rushdie was in hiding, they filmed. He lived in Crouch End for a bit, and they filmed an advert in Crouch End, and Salman Rushdie was in the advert, standing in the, he just happened to be there. So there's a bit of a security risk in it, in an advert. Yeah.
No, I tell you.
No, I don't think he had to. I don't know.
My favourite was years ago. I think in about 1995, there was an insurance company that launched their sort of annual report, and they had examples of people who had, saved money on their car insurance or whatever. And one of the journalists turned to page 58 or whatever, and they went, Mrs. Jones from Romford, and they went, yeah, and they went, isn't that Sarah Howard, the wife of the Home Secretary? And they went, they used stock photos, and she was a model. And they had this woman going, I saved £50 my car insurance. It was the Home Secretary's wife.
Yeah. I saw a thing on BBC or ITV London. They were just doing vox pops outside King's Cross talking about... And James Wales was there, and they didn't know it was... They went, hello, sir, what do you think about it? And he went, well, I think that... And they didn't know, and I texted him after. I go, you just on ITV News talking about the trains and that. He was very well behaved, but yeah. Anyway...
I'll tell you, BBC London did a vox pop, and I thought it was really, really bad. Right, there was this young lad who was as camp as Christmas, and they went, "Are you happy with your local council?" Went, "No, it's an absolute disgrace. They've shut all the public parks at night." And I thought, but why would you need a public park at night?
Nice in the summer, aren't they?
Yeah, it's like they no longer open the public parks at night.
Yeah.
I was thinking, why on earth would you come on TV and say that?
Anyway, you have to see the Odyssey. We've got a little piece on Odyssey later. This is the new thing. It's coming, a film, movie. It leads way as big screen, draws back crowd. Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, the first feature film, shot entirely on IMAX cameras, is on track to take 200 million on box office opening sales. Apparently the critics like it, but a lot of people are slagging it off.
What is an IMAX camera? I mean, I've seen they've got that IMAX.
Is it the round? Is it the big round thing? Have you ever been to that IMAX?
I've never even been to an IMAX.
No.
I don't even know what they are.
It's something like a big round
something
thing.
fancier.
Yeah,
it's one at Waterloo Station, that big round
exactly
thing.
right.
That's the IMAX, and it's just an all-round thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I mean, surely you'd have to be doing that all the time. You get a bad. You don't want to be doing that in a movie.
Have you seen that orb that they have in Las Vegas?
That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's got 2 floors, so if you're on the lower floor, you sort of can't.
And the sound can go to individual. It's amazing, the technology.
I remember what Jack D once said. He said he went into Richer Sound, this years and years and years ago, and he goes, right, I'd like a new record player. And they said, oh, Mr. D, you can't have a record player now. What you need is a CD player. And he goes, well, what's the advantage of a CD? And they went, if you put a CD on and you close your eyes, you will imagine, you will believe that your favourite band are sat in your lounge. And he said, my favourite band are the Pogues.
You don't want them sitting in your lounge,
yeah, he said, I don't want to close my eyes and imagine the Pogues are in my lounge under any circumstance.
Now, this is interesting. Ultra-fast feed of Trump's post pitched to market players at $100,000 a month. So basically, Donald Trump's social media company has discussed charging traders and investors as much as $100,000 a month for faster access to the US president's points on his Truth Social platform. So if you pay $100,000 a month, you'll get it early and be able to do basically insider trading.
Yeah, that's right. That is an absolute disgrace, isn't it?
He doesn't care, does he? He just doesn't care. I mean, I remember when he said, yeah, I don't pay taxes, I think
he's got that interim Air Force One because he's going to keep it.
Sorry, he's got
Qatar gave it to him.
There's now effectively 5 Air Force Ones, and people are going to go, Air Force One is a call sign. All right, there's 5 executive jets. So there's the 2 that George W. Bush ordered. Yeah. There's 1 that Qatar has donated and is a temporary measure. And there are 2 that are ex-Russian. Well, sorry, this sounds really bad, but OK, that Boeing had, that the Russian airline was going to buy, but couldn't because of sanctions, and they're now being turned into the new Air Force One. What's going to happen is, in about 3 years, President Trump is going to cease to be the president, and these 2 new Air Force Ones are going to come online. So what's he going to say? I'll just have.
I'll give you $100,000.
I'll give you a couple of million for the Qatar one.
Yeah.
So you'll get a £400 million jet for free.
Yeah. I mean, he's enriched himself during this presidency.
He's done all right, hasn't he? Let's be honest.
The Guardian, this is our last chance to beat the right, Burnham. Andy Burnham pledged to lead a united Labour government free of infighting and fractional politics as he took over as leader, despite anxiety on the left party about the prospect of Shabana Mahmood as Chancellor. The market seemed to appreciate Shabana Mahmood. They rose up a bit when they found she was going to be in. She's got she's a lawyer. Maybe that's what they like, because obviously being a lawyer and no experience with economics, as Rachel Reeves pretended she had, Shabana Mahmood will actually get experts in and will basically do maybe some good things. But there's a backbench revolt. They want Ed Miliband. What do you think about Shabana Mahmood?
Well, I think the trouble with her being appointed Chancellor is that I can't see anyone else in the Labour Party who would be an effective Home Secretary and would be able to cut levels of immigration as effectively
she's only
as
saying she's doing it. She's not actually doing it.
But of the Labour Party and of the Labour cabinet, I can't see anyone being as tough as she has been as Home Secretary, even if what she's done has not been enough to reduce net migration to the levels that most of the country wants. And as Chancellor, she has no economic credentials. As you say, she's a lawyer.
But she won't be a yes man or yes woman, will she? She's not that sort of person.
No, she has been strong in sticking to what she believes in and withstanding criticism, which has been healthy and has been a good change to what Starmer was like. But yeah, she doesn't have the economic credentials, and also it's been a fight in the Labour Party before Burnham's even got in, that we were getting told that Miliband was going to be put Chancellor, then that was rowed back on.
Now he's going to be Foreign Secretary, though, right?
Now apparently he's going to be Foreign Secretary.
Which gets him out of the way, doesn't it?
And the left of the party don't want Shabana Mahmood, and already Zach Polanski of the Greens has been criticising Labour for showing that they're too, beholden to the bond markets because they want to appoint Mahmood.
What about Keir Starmer?
As Chancellor?
No, as something. I mean, Lord Chancellor, perhaps?
Well, a lot of people have been talking about him as Foreign Secretary, given he loves
it. Like Cameron came when he did it.
He loves...
I mean, I don't think immediately, but it's, in the past, Prime Ministers could come and go quite regularly like they do now, but then they'd just stay on as leader of the opposition or become Foreign Secretary or whatever. I think given they have so little longevity now, the idea that you do the job for 48 days and then never work again, I think is a bit silly.
Yeah, the only thing with that is that Burnham obviously wants to show that he's changed and that he's doing things differently to Starmer, because Starmer was so radically unpopular in the May elections, local elections, as we saw, and that's why the Labour Party got rid of him. So it would be strange for Burnham to then bring him back into some senior role in his cabinet.
Yeah, can you imagine like when David Cameron, the door opened and Kay Burley was so shocked? Can you imagine if the door opened, it was Keir Starmer? Oh no, not him, not him, not that prize, Wally. Hello, I've come back.
You know how people sort of look back in fondness and they go, actually, John Major was all right. No, that won't happen with Starmer, will it? It didn't really happen with Cameron, did it? I mean, I suppose they look at him now and think he's maybe a grown-up compared to the rest, but I don't think anyone's ever going to say, I like Starmer, he was all right. Then that's never going to happen, is it?
No, the only thing is if Burnham's premiership crashes and burns very quickly, I think there will be people in the Labour Party and on the left of this country who will very much regret getting rid of Keir Starmer.
The biggest nutter that I've seen, and I think one of the biggest nutters that British politics has ever created, is David Blunkett. And did you see him out and about? He is a loony. Do you remember his idea? His idea that he wanted to reform sex offences laws, right? And somebody pointed out to him, he said, under your proposal, if two 14-year-olds have sex, they will both be put on the sex offenders register as paedophiles. And he went, if you have sex with a child, you are a paedophile. And people were like, I'm not.
But now, if a child takes a picture of themselves naked, say they're 15, 14, they get put on the sex offender for taking it of them, which I don't know, it's not right, is it? They shouldn't think of some other way.
But Blunkett was crazy. The other thing I noticed about Burnham was when he walked in, And you know, the BBC and Sky and all that, they all had the footage. He went for Kinnock, and they made sure they didn't show that. You didn't see him embrace Kinnock, because had he done that, then everyone would have gone, oh no, not him. Mind you, I've got a great story about Kinnock.
Go on, then, yeah.
This is just a really simple story.
Yeah.
Right, so
We're all right.
I used to do.
We're all right.
So when I worked in Parliament, obviously you used to do a tour of Parliament, and when you came in, you had to go a specific way round. You had to go through the no lobby and come behind the Speaker's chair. Now, that meant that you had to go, in order to show people, you had to go one of two ways, either on the opposition side or on the government side. What people tended to do, though you didn't have to do this, they would go on whichever side they're associated with. Now, obviously, David Cameron was the Prime Minister, so I used to go on the government side. And I took a load of people through. And Neil Kinnock was doing a tour of people, and he was stood at the opposition dispatch box telling them a story. And one of my group went, he's not still going on, is he? No, he has left. Don't worry. They were like, oh, well, he heard. Like, he's not still stood there all these years.
I was once in we've got to take a break, but I was once having a mate of mine who's a journalist there. He said, come to, you know, have the restaurant in Parliament, the Churchill Room. So I went there, sitting there, and my mate, he's a blind guy, and he had a guide dog, and David Blunkett then came in to get some food, and I swear, his guide dog looked at my mate's guide dog and nodded at him with respect, and my mate's guide dog nodded back at him. Anyway, we're going through the papers. We're going to be back. It's Sonder and Asher after this.
Across the UK, on DAB+, on YouTube, on your mobile, and on your side. This is Talk.
Yes, this is the press preview with Andre Walker, Asher Gould and Kieran Galpin. Where is your surname from?
French, actually. Normandy. Yeah.
Are you
a Norman?
I'm an invader.
Did you come in 1066 with William
I did,
the
yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
you know, you've done well. Haven't you? You've made the country a bit better. You know, you've helped out. I mean, I suppose that was immigration that was positive for this country, was it?
An invasion,
Yeah.
an invading force.
An invasion.
Yeah, my Galpin was a
On small
squire.
boats.
On
No four-star
relatively large
hotels,
boats.
though. No four-star hotels, but you built that nice big
hotels, no.
white tower over there. All right, that's interesting. OK, US to give, this is The Guardian again, US to give $7 million to think tank founded by Rees-Mogg. Donald Trump's State Department intends to allocate $12 million to organisation UK founded by prominent Tories Jacob Rees-Mogg and Toby Young. The Guardian can reveal.
878, AD 878. What was it? Forgive me. The organisation is named after 878 AD.
Alfred the Great, something?
No,
I'll have to look it up.
It's a year.
Yeah.
AD.
Anno Domini.
Oh, Alfred the Great. The year Alfred the Great did something.
Yeah, maybe. We'll have to fact check that.
What did he do?
We'll have fact check that.
Well, I'm going to ask what the significance of the year was.
You brought a load of Jews with you as well. William the Conqueror, he brought French Jews with him over. That was one of the... they got kicked out a few years later. The Daily Mirror, spice up your wife. A Spice Girl, Mel C, is marrying Aussie model Chris
well done.
Dingwall. That's a sporty Spice, isn't it? The one who does all the flips and could actually sing. The couple who went public in 2024 kept their engagement quiet. All the Spice Girls are Jew at the Lake District do, except Victoria, who was at the World Cup with hubby David. She could have popped down now, couldn't she? Anyway, an insider said of Mel's bandmates, they have never seen her so happy. Were you into the Spice Girls? Because you're off that age, aren't you?
Well, sadly, I'm not, and have not been into the Spice Girls, no.
What were you... How old... So what are you... You were born in, what, the 80s? Late 80s, early 90s? Mid-90s?
000.
2000s?
Yeah.
Well, shouldn't you be in bed now? No, no, that means you're 20.
What was it Dave Gorman said, that some things just don't work together, even if you like them both? I like spice and I like girls, but...
The Daily Star. Who are Daily Star? We go again, and there is France v England at 10 p.m, but no one really cares. It's the wooden spoon, but, you know, we should beat them, hopefully, but we probably won't. Andy's New Order, King of the North's mad for it. Burnham Dad dances to Manchester tune as he's crowned Labour leader. So, yeah, he's sort of playing on... You see, I lived in Manchester for a bit, and you get sort of insular and think Manchester's the only thing, and he's got a bit of that, hasn't he? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be totally...
He's a Scouser, though, isn't he, actually?
It's a really...
I think it's from Scout.
He was born in Aintree. He grew up in Culcheth, which is actually in Cheshire, and he lives now in Goulburn.
So he's a hodgepodge of Northerner.
Which is a bit... It's near... He lives... Well, actually, I shouldn't do this, but no, he lives next to Aintree Racecourse, but on the Greater Manchester side.
There we go.
And
this is...
Mind you, to be honest, you can see where his house is. It's pretty...
The Daily Mail, first picture of Anne Widdecombe, suspect, quiz Joshua Kerry, so that's an ongoing...
Hang on, he looks like the Hairy Bikers.
Yeah, I did think
it's
that.
The Hairy
anyway,
Bikers. It's the Hairy Bikers killed the Widdecombe.
Well, no, I mean, this is all going through court and...
is that Hairy Biker is dead, to say?
Yeah. So it's
the Hairy Biker's dead. Come on, Kingy. Let's have some more, lad. Come on. That'll be healthy, won't it, Kingy?
I did like their food, but yeah. So that's the first picture of the Anne.
They were big lads, though, weren't they, the Hairy Bikers?
They were, and they did lose a lot of weight, didn't they, in the end?
Yeah, which just proves it. And then he died, which just proves the damage was done. Don't worry about it.
Boris in the kill zone. A heart-stopping dispatch from Ukrainian frontliners. XPM came under missile fire and dodged death by the roadside. So there's Boris, and he's in the kill zone in Ukraine, coming under fire. And Burnham to drag us back to the 70s as a new leader finally takes over and pledges to roll back Thatcherism, which was like 40 years ago. Immediately after taking over as Labour leader, the next Prime Minister signalled a lurch to the left, saying Britain had taken a series of wrong turns under Margaret Thatcher. He's forgetting about the 40 years since, though, isn't he? Conveniently.
Yeah, and also he's painting a very broad brush over Thatcher's premiership and what she did well. I mean, he's not accepting that national debt went down, that we had better growth.
The economy boomed.
Yeah, exactly. We had a much more dynamic economy, and so to blame everything on Thatcher in the 70s is strange for that.
People got their houses. I mean, she wanted to.
I think there's one thing that I was saying earlier that I think I've got sympathy with, and actually it's nationalisation. When we privatised all of these industries, I get why we did it, would have been in favour at the time, fantastic. Many have been nationalised now by foreign sovereign wealth funds. I'm thinking of your EDF Energy as an example. The idea that we would say, we do not want an energy company in the public sector, so we'll privatise it only for the French to buy it.
We now subsidise French...
Sorry, just to be clear, not the French to buy it, for the French government to buy it. Yeah. And time again, I mean, I think I'm right in saying, I might be wrong, that the Port of Dover was owned by the Bank of Ireland, which was basically owned by the Irish government, and the Port of Dover was unable to expand because it was owned by the Irish government and bailed out by the UK taxpayer. And you think, well, no, let's just make it an independent body. The purpose of profit is to encourage innovation and competition. It's not to give it to a foreign government.
For important infrastructure like that, I mean, we basically subsidise the French electricity bill payers with our bill payers. That's what we go. A lot of Qatar, I think they're buying a lot of the ports, and China. Basically, everything's up for sale in this country.
Yeah, the trouble is, if we started nationalising those things now, that would cost a lot of money.
But the issue is, as we sit in this building now, it's owned by the Qatar Sovereign Wealth Fund, this building, and indeed the Shard and everything, which is fine, except for the fact that we believe governments owning your key infrastructure is a bad thing. So it's not like it's owned by a Qatari property developer, it's owned by a sovereign wealth fund, i.e. it's owned by the taxpayer of Qatar, which worries me. I've got nothing against Qatar, I mean, except...
I don't think there are any taxpayers in Qatar.
I think there's one.
They just run it. They just own it.
And the irony as well is that Manchester and all the development in Manchester has come, a lot of it, from foreign investment as well.
Yes.
And London, I mean, half of London is owned by, you know, the Chinese and the Qataris.
But the trouble is if that's where the money's coming from, and that's how we develop our economy, then what's the alternative?
What's the same in America?
And our services get worse and worse.
As I always say about the Emir of Qatar, I don't know why he invests in London. You know he's banned from the biggest gay nightclub in London.
No.
I'm not joking. Al Thani is bad. I'll tell you what happened, right? This is genuinely true. You can look it up. It's quite hard to find these days. He was in GAY nightclub when it was at...
Gay, you can say it now.
No, it was called GAY. That was the name of it.
You can say the word now,
right. He went in there with his friend from school and his bodyguard, and apparently he lives with his friend at school on Bishop's Avenue, or he did at the time, in North London. Somebody cracked on to his best mate, and he had a bit of a fight, and they all whipped out diplomatic immunity and left. And he later...
Diplomatic immunity.
He married his first cousin a week later and said he didn't know the nightclub was a gay nightclub, even though it was called Gay. Interesting. And now you see him in all the garb, and you think, basically, it's funny, though, with a lot of them. And it's true of him. A lot of them just went to, like, Eton, Harrow, Marlborough, all these places, and basically just completely British.
Well, the thing is, where these countries are very anti-gay and they, you know, execute and do all that, there's a lot of gay activity with them, isn't there? You know what I mean? It's sort
of...
They
love it.
They're lapping it up. They're lapping it up. Have we got to take a little breaky? We're going to take a little breaky. 03444991000, Andre and Ash. But give us a ring, and we're going to talk about Odyssey, the new film. Everyone's talking about it, Odyssey, about Helen of Troy, and we're with Kieran Galpin, and we're going to be talking about Odyssey after this.
across the UK. On DAB+, on YouTube, on your mobile, and on your side. This is Talk.
This is the press preview with Andre Walker, Asher Gould, Kieran Galpin, and why have you only got one name, Sophia?
That's all we need.
She's like the Madonna of.
But there's no one else. There's no Sophia. Sophia.
Beyonce knows Madonna.
She just knows she's not as Beyonce.
I think Madonna needs to stop now. She's a grandma. It's disgusting, isn't it?
She's been doing concerts recently.
Oh, God.
Yeah, you keep going, love. Keep going.
I heard a rumour that when she bends over nowadays, she leaks. Sophia. Right, OK. Sophia, you have watched... So you know something about this film, Odyssey. Apologies, I don't know what an IMAX is. I know there's one near Waterloo Station. So can you just give me the basics?
Well, it's a good job you're not excited about IMAX because it's sold out. For months you won't be able to watch the film on IMAX at the BFI. So I wanted to.
So the British film industry own that IMAX thing?
No, the film has been shot in IMAX, and actually there's a huge difference.
Does that mean it's round? No.
It just means that you get to see the image differently. Actually, we had a picture. I don't know.
Yeah, but if you've not got an IMAX telly, it's not going to work, though.
No, then you don't. You see, it's almost cropped out. The difference between watching something in IMAX and watching the non-IMAX version is huge. Like literally, it crops out.
It's just a big screen.
Yeah, it's been shot in really amazing locations.
Yeah.
And you actually
got a massive horizontal view.
So it's about Helen of Troy.
The film is the Odyssey is actually the Homer classic. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's been shot in IMAX, but it started to have some controversy because of the casting choices that were made.
Because Helen of Troy would have been where from, and she's played what is by?
She's being played by Lupita Nyong'o,
Lupita Nyong'o.
Lupita Nyong'o she's a Kenyan actress, Kenyan Mexican heritage.
Was Helen of Troy a Mexican?
But I saw Akala speak at the Oxford Union, and he claimed that everybody from Egypt, everybody from North Africa, everybody in all of these stories about the Greeks and all this sort of thing were all black, right? I mean, obviously.
But darker skin, possibly. I mean,
yeah, well, you would have anyway. Because if you live there, you're going to have darker skin anyway, naturally.
Exactly. And I think ancient Greece and the classics don't depict black people in the same way.
No, they do not, that's true.
That we do today. So, to be honest, the controversy surprised me because I'm just excited about the film.
Why?
She always gets hyped up with all that, doesn't she? She gets caught up with all the...
And is this actress the most beautiful woman in the world, as Helen of Troy,
Well, again, beauty is subjective. To me,
no, it's not. Come on.
We all agree Marilyn Monroe.
I went recently to Wigan. I went recently to Wigan, and I saw some of the craggy-faced... No,
but Lupita, have you seen her in anything?
No, Sophia.
No.
Sophia.
Okay, so she brings international acclaim.
What's the name, Lupita?
Lupita Nyong'o.
Sophia, listen to me. When they go, beauty's what's inside, it's not.
No, but I
what's
literally
inside
work
is personality.
out. No, I work out.
I saw some real trouts when I was up there.
No, but you haven't even seen Lupita Nyong'o. I mean,
she's all right,
she literally is stunning. Anyway, I have a clip, and I wanted to find out what Londoners think.
All right.
And so let's play.
Oh, here we go.
Let's have a look.
We go.
Are you going to see the Odyssey?
Based on how good that Oppenheimer was, yes.
Yeah.
I think the Odyssey is going to be fantastic.
So are you excited to go see the film?
Yeah, I'm very excited. I love every Christopher Nolan film I've ever seen. I loved Interstellar, I love Oppenheimer, etc. So I'm really excited.
I think there's been way too much backlash on it because I think the whole point of art is to be able to reimagine stuff and do what you want with it. And I think a lot of it is quite racist and quite transphobic from what I've seen on the internet. I mean, I don't know if that says a lot about what kind of spaces well, it's Twitter, isn't it?
Why do you think people mind Lupita Nyong'o being cast as Helen of Troy?
Because people have a certain idea of what they think Helen of Troy looks like, and I suppose it's not her. And they can't really, see it as being anyone else. And yeah.
It's awesome. He uses the best actors that are on the market right now. So yeah, I love Anne Hathaway and Tom Holland. Yeah, they're just the best, I think. So he couldn't have done better with them.
Some people say that there are a couple of choices, like having Lupita Nyong'o as Helen of Troy. What do you think about that kind of reimagining?
Yeah, I think it's great, honestly.
I don't agree with all of these people on Twitter who are being like, oh, Helen of Troy shouldn't be like a woman of colour. I don't agree with that. She is an absolutely beautiful woman. That, like, I look at her and she's just gorgeous, and it's like, of course, like, I would send out a million ships out for her, right? You know. So I really do think that it's horrible, all of the controversies and stuff, because it's I think people just like to have a problem with things, you know. They like
I think
to have
that's what it is, the internet.
Yeah. I mean, the internet's a very, very cruel place, unfortunately, and you're probably better off not going on it.
I like Matt Berry. Matt Berry's in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Matt Berry in it?
Yeah.
No way.
He plays the kid.
Elliot Page is going to be fantastic.
So Matt Berry, who was Wixie, is in it. So that's
Who's
great.
Wixie?
Do you remember where he played? Yeah, he was in EastEnders, and he
was in the Heartbeat?
Yeah, that's it, Heartbeat. Yeah. So I look forward to that. But the thing is,
Nick Berry from Heartbeat is not in
he's
Homer's Odyssey.
I think actually this whole controversy is just contrived. And
but don't you think it's a two-tier system? If it's a black character and a white person plays it, there's all hell to pay.
Well, that's not true. Jesus Christ is depicted as blonde with blue eyes.
Yeah,
and
he
we
was.
don't
I've
have
seen
a
pictures of
problem.
him.
And he is, to some, he's a historical figure. So I don't understand.
But the only description, yeah, but in fairness, the only description that I'm aware of Jesus Christ was he was a man who was ordinary looking, isn't it? That's kind of all it really says.
You know, the Romans and Europeans were all in the Middle East. There's a lot of blonde, blue-eyed. You know, people say, "Oh,
I'm just saying he's depicted as different.
No, I know, but they wouldn't now, would they? If they were going to do Jesus now, if they said it, they might do. But say someone who is definitely a black character, if a white person played it, everyone would go mad about it.
Nobody would go mad about it. We've had so many white characters play people of colour.
Not anymore, because there's all a furore about it if it happens.
Well, to be honest, it's up to a director to take artistic freedom.
But that's not going to happen, though, is it? If a white guy was to play Nelson Mandela, right, there would literally be a war about it.
I think that.
I mean, I wouldn't do it because it would be hugely inaccurate.
Harry Enfield did.
Oh yeah,
there's a difference. First of all, there's a big difference between a mythical character.
Yeah.
It's not a documentary. It's
Is
not
Agamemnon
ethnography.
in it?
Who?
Agamemnon.
Who's that?
Agamemnon wasn't he mentioning the king?
Jabulon.
It wasn't he the king that was trying.
So Nick Berry is in
Agamemnon
it.
trying to get Helen of Troy back.
Helen of Troy is a mythical.
How do you know?
character.
Isn't she never
No, but
existed?
Agamemnon was
real
trying to get him
character,
back.
no.
her
That's not
back.
it. How do you know?
But we know that.
Oh. So it's
I
just
mean,
all made up, is it?
Yes. And that's why this whole controversy, I think it's just derived by
Wasn't that member of the royal family? Who's that royal who in The Crown, like her great granddad was from somewhere like Romania, and she's now depicted as a black person because they go, she's the only black royal. Wasn't it the Duke of Clarence's wife or something? I can't remember. Anyway,
there was a famous painting. There was the guy who owned Kenwood House who had a black niece, and there's a famous picture of her, dressed in all the finery with her white cousins, and she's got a finger like that to her face, so it's sort of pointing out he was an anti-slaver, in 1700s, and she's got a finger like that pointing to. So it was the first sort of.
Well, my theory on the racial characteristics of people. I always say, why is it that people from North Africa don't look like they're from Africa? They look like they're from the Middle East. I would suggest it's because of a huge Islamic crusade.
Well, again, I'm not a history
no, I mean, well, people
expert,
mix.
So
For thousands of years, people have mixed.
Because Matt Berry's not in that film, apparently. Nor is Nick Berry.
Are you going to see the movie?
Well,
when's it out? Tomorrow or something? It's like.
It's out. I wanted to see it today. I'm going to see it tomorrow.
So you come on
to be honest, all of this has actually proven that people can criticize something and it goes on to be a blockbuster.
Yeah, but they do that deliberately, don't they?
Are you going to an IMAX to see it?
Yes, of course.
What, the one in?
I
I
had a friend who every single female entertainment journalist in America called for it to be banned because it was a film about vampires. and the vampires like could attack women based on, well, menstruation. And it got and
your friend was directing this film.
Directing the film, and he said, "I just knew how to make £1 million out of this film." And he said that like you were safe unless you let any blood left your body, and of course. And then there's the inevitable scene that anyway. Let's not.
I was in a movie about vegan vampires. It was a terrible movie.
I was in a slash horror film.
You played Gary Newbond as well.
I was an actor in the slash horror film. I played myself. They said, "Andre, just be yourself," and then I was a bad guy.
Do you follow Hollywood at all? I mean, as you, Kieran? I mean, because Hollywood's
really.
on its bottom at the moment because of AI, and apparently they're not getting the money.
But that's what's exciting about this. It's going to be a summer blockbuster. It's actually people are excited about film again. And if you look at the way it's been shot and the effort that the actors.
How much was it? The production? Do you know?
He's actually come in under budget and came in under time. And that's
but the budget was probably quite big, wasn't it?
Around 250 million.
So,
but it's set to take in.
I could have done it for 30 million.
I'd have done it for 25, if I'm being honest.
Damn.
Well, I think anything that gets people excited about film again can only be.
Is
good.
there an excitement, or is it all hype?
It's not all hype.
The critics have been really raving about it.
Yeah, but that's their job, isn't it?
Well, it's not just the critics. Obviously, the fans. I met quite a few fans who are really excited about it.
Are they fans of the actors? Is that what it is? I mean, these aren't household names, really. I've never heard of this.
Are you a fan of an actor? I mean, I'm not really a fan of an actor, am I? Apart from Mr. Sidney Poitier.
I mean,
some of that on the Office.
No. I like directors like Tarantino, the Coen brothers. I like Kubrick. I mean, directors are important.
But I love Lupita Nyong'o. So that's, I think, one of the things that
Lupita Nyong'o.
Lupita Nyong'o.
Do you know what they should do? They should just call her like Cilla Black. Like you know when names are too long, just go with.
It's not a long
Her name was Priscilla White originally.
It was, yeah.
Lupita Nyong'o.
Lupita Nyong'o.
Lupita Nyong'o. And what was she in before? What films has she been in before?
Lots of films. She was in the.
Was it like rubbish
Steve
foreign
McQueen.
ones?
She's an Oscar-winning actress.
But it'd be in the category of like rubbish international film, isn't it?
I don't even.
No, it will be like best foreign language film from Japan.
She was the best supporting actress. Won an Oscar for the 12 Years a Slave film.
Oh, that was a great film. That was.
Was she that woman?
Yeah.
Is she the other one in 12 Years a Slave? The one that gets beaten up for nicking soap? Yeah, she was good. Yeah, all right, I'm in for that. I mean, she was good in that.
Well, she brings international acclaim, she brings privilege, and for some of us, like I literally work out after I see her, I go to the gym and I'll try to look like her. Yeah.
I will be honest with you, 12 Years a Slave, though, it wasn't a laugh a minute.
No, but it was a great film. Anyway, thanks, Sophia. That was fantastic.
Wasn't that much fun?
No, it was. It was. All right. Anyway, join us off on you taking your calls.
across the UK, on DAB+, on YouTube, on your mobile, and on your side. This is Talk.
Well, here we are. It's the UF Bros who are going to come on and do their
From the mystery department.
From the
Talk's
mystery
department.
Right, so it's Andre Walker, Asher Gould. We're doing the normal show, but as you know, on a Friday night, well, going into Saturday morning, we are invaded by Joe Stock and Matt Thornton. Matt's normally been out with his mate Quentin.
He looks a bit glazed over, like
he
he does
glazed over
tonight.
today. Are you capable?
Really?
You capable
Not today.
Right, okay.
I feel great.
I'm sure you do.
Project Bluebeam.
Oh, he's got all those special vapes. Right,
I don't vape.
Okay, so Joe, are you drunk?
No, I don't think so.
He's always also
we'll find out.
Okay.
It's been a long day.
By the way, everything we say here, everything we say here,
mine always do.
Everything we say here is for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah.
What we're trying to do, Asher and I, actually is just lift them a little bit because they are not very good.
Come on, guys, show business.
They're not very good.
We thought by now we'd be getting a lot of offers coming through, but they haven't.
No.
We turned it down.
So if you want to watch the UK's worst segment, media segment of the week, and you haven't got S4C, then here we are. There we go.
Well,
it's just like the David Owen and David Steele puppets from Spitting Image again, if you're watching. But anyway, what is the mystery that you've looked into all week, researched in
Project Bluebeam.
Okay.
Have you heard of this?
No.
I heard of it earlier because you spoke, but what is Project Bluebeams?
Well, do you want to lead this?
It's the idea that basically the elites are going to come together, they're going to work us up through disclosure, get us ready for aliens, and then basically fake an alien invasion.
For what purpose?
What?
So the original...
So the nutters that believe in aliens are now saying that aliens are fake in order to...
Well, they've been saying this for a long time. So the original theory came out from a journalist called Sergei Monast. I think that's how he says his name. And anyway, he basically said he uncovered documents called Project Bluebeam, where a series of events would lead eventually to the mass depopulation of the planet, and then the few survivors would be controlled by a elite. And they do this on the first stage. It would be earthquakes. So we'd have some earthquakes, and then we discover...
We've had those, haven't we?
There have been earthquakes.
Venezuela and that,
And then we discover an ancient site, and inside the tomb there would be evidence from a civilization dating back before everything else that all of the world religions of today are fake. And this would be scientifically proven, so that would cause like a sort of identity crisis.
Imagine what would happen to Ken.
I know, Ken would be very concerned.
He could handle it.
Don't worry, he's not listening now. He's given up on you two. He hates you.
What?
No, he has messaged me saying, I'm sick of the UF Bros.
Oh.
Doesn't like you.
We're so kind to him.
We want him to call in. He's our favourite caller.
Anyway, so after this happens...
Feelings not mutual.
After this happens... Then the alien invasion element comes into it.
The fake alien invasion.
The fake alien invasion created with holograms and technology. So the
those drones that
you know the
in
drone
America,
videos that you see out in China when they form like
drones over America about a year ago.
A big dragon or something they can take the shape of, and it looks very convincing.
Yeah, we know this technology has significantly improved since these claims came out. But basically the idea would be is we'd think we're under attack, and then in the middle of all of this, and during the attack, a huge chunk of the population of the Earth would be killed. OK, so you've already lost a load of people.
80%
But here's the
reduction.
thing. During this alien invasion, an event would happen where you would see all of these holograms of deities like Christ, Muhammad, all these would come into the air and they'd all merge. Jabulon would be
this
there.
This is what they want.
Jabulon.
They'd all merge. They'd all merge
Nephilims.
Together in the sky.
The fields.
And they'd form the deity that originally they found in the caves. They were trying to convince was the oldest religion before everything else. And everyone would see this deity in the sky and it would defeat all the aliens. So the remaining population, a much smaller population, would all bow down and worship this deity that they would think to be real because they would have seen the holograms.
Yeah.
But they would actually be under the control of an authoritarian, demonic power.
Have you seen the latest drones out? There's a new drone.
There are some pretty crazy ones.
It looks like just a invisible cloud. Basically, it spins so fast. Like when you look at a fan, you don't see the fan. It spins so fast that you just see a sort of grey mist.
Wow, I've not seen that.
And the middle
is that like Jabulon?
Basically, this already exists. Invisible ghost-like drones. You just see a sort of shading, and it's terrifying. So this is and we've seen the drone displays now now they do instead of firework displays, which are incredible, and that's just at the beginning stage of the drone, so they could create all this
If you
stuff
create
now.
that and add in holographic technology, which
all
we are
sorts
developing.
of surround
we can go
sound.
see ABBA in Stratford.
I know.
And they're not really there.
Imagine that, ABBA coming over the horizon and wiping us all out. Think of that.
That would be terrible.
Better the devil, you know. That's not ABBA, is it?
That's Kylie Minogue.
That's Kylie Minogue, yeah.
Waterloo, that would be it.
But yeah, but no, so as we're seeing all these UFO file declassifications, we come on and say, oh, we're coming to disclosure, we're about to find out the truth about aliens, but...
You're part of the...
Some people reckon there's something nefarious going on.
Could it be that this is all fake?
What's your gut feeling?
I think that...
It's tough.
I think that the belief in aliens and the stories of aliens goes back, or whatever we call aliens, goes back long before Project Bluebeam, and so I think it's probably more likely that...
I would agree with you on that. My only thing would be is that I don't think we're getting all these declassifications and people coming forward just by the good nature of the people in power now. I'm sure there are other reasons for why this is happening, yeah.
So
they don't have the full picture, though.
So
do they?
you say it's not a trick. So you always argue with each other. So you think
we're
that's
bickering
part of the
again.
weakness of the segment.
No, we're politely disagreeing. There's lots of shades and elements to this.
No, the worst bit is when you've done all the prep and he just comes on because
he just turns up and denies what you're saying.
I know the Bluebeams. He's drunk.
And he just goes to his mate Quentin's and then just comes in and smashes up your...
And I look into your eyes. I see what you're thinking, Joe, when he turns up drunk and just goes, no, I think you're wrong,
This
Joe.
is
You've done all the work.
I didn't say
and
it's
he
wrong.
just comes up
We're
like...
agreeing.
We agree to disagree if we do disagree. But no, we're on the same page.
completely.
We both think there's something going on.
There's been some new releases lately, hasn't there?
Yes. We did this last week, but this is...
I wasn't here.
No, I know, we missed it. But
incredible things like the close-up footage of these UFOs in the sky.
None of them were that great, though.
Oh, come on. That was pretty good
You
stuff.
love it too much.
What do you think it is?
What do I think it is? I think it is two deranged, lazy young men putting in very little work on a segment on Talk.
But why are they leaking?
That's what I think it is.
But why are they leaking a little bit? Why don't they just it is weird how they...
Do you think it's something that should be done all at once? Do you think people can
You see it
handle
on
that?
screen, by the way.
That was the one he said was amazing.
That is amazing. Look at that.
That looks like a heat impact. That looks like...
I've never seen anything like
He's been blown
it.
away.
That looks like the heat impact of flatulence. It looks like a fart flying in the wind.
I've got a cufflink.
That is an unidentified flying object.
It's just someone's...
Do you know I break all my cufflinks?
You do?
Because I smash my fist on the desk.
Wow.
And they all get hammered, like they get hammered flat.
That could be anything, couldn't it? It could be a...
That is flatulence, I'm sure it is.
What does that even mean?
You're making a mockery of this.
You are completely making a mockery of
I
it.
mean, it's not uniform, is it? I mean,
Exactly, that's what.
Exactly, that's why it's like flatulence.
No, but there's no frame of reference for that. But that is an object floating in the sky, and it's being tracked by a military jet.
That is a weather balloon that's run out of helium.
Could this be AI or anything?
Do we have the footage of the arrow moving, those white balls in the shape of the arrow?
Put the white balls on the video.
Get the ray Ulay.
It's the one on the label.
Exhibition number 14, please.
I'm just going to relax, right?
What's this? What's this?
Oh, I don't know.
That's a different one.
This is like a sort of orb, a glowing moon orb with rays of light. And
no, this was the instant acceleration video. So this is actually probably the best one that's been released because it shows you how quickly they can suddenly...
It's moving, Nolan, it's moving, and then it jumps. Boom!
Wow!
Now that is impressive.
Yeah, but I mean...
What do you mean, I mean?
That could be a military vehicle.
Well, it could be
a black project.
That's what the question is.
See, look at that. Look at it. It's just
what is this stuff?
Look, because it's already going really fast.
Yeah.
Now, if a machine that we had suddenly went that fast, it would be completely destroyed.
Here we go, 3 boats, and you see a little black.
No, those aren't 3 boats. Those are objects.
I thought those were boats.
You see, they're arguing
again.
We're not even sure.
No, but I mean, they could have invented technology that will take you at the fastest.
Now, that was a UAP being shot down right there.
And did they get the equipment?
I don't know. That's the thing they claim.
Apparently they do have these.
That's the information.
That's just a plane.
That is a plane, yeah.
Now is that a plane?
That's Star Wars.
Is it a bird?
That's damage to the screen.
I don't know what that is. It's a UFO.
I can't believe people listening to this are enjoying what they're listening to.
I think people might... do you know what it is? No, where else is going to cover this stuff?
Give us a ring if you're not enjoying it or enjoying it. 03444991000. Have you got any?
Have you seen a UFO?
Have you? Yeah, give us. Oh, I haven't. No, but if you have, give us. Because we have had callers that are, and they're obviously not lying.
The ratings for this segment have been very poor, if I'm being honest.
They've actually done quite well, I think.
That's just a shit.
When they've been clipped up on their own, they've actually done pretty well.
Well,
what's it? That's just a cloud.
No, that's an orb.
That's just something for.
Do you guys think because you guys aren't really into all this? Andre's not. Andre's not really. I'm talking about Andre. Andre is
feet on the desk.
Andre is totally uninterested. But what do you make of all of this stuff? Is it all just military technology that they're hiding from us?
I've got to be honest with you. When I finish this segment, I give no thought to it whatsoever afterwards.
Neither do we.
I don't go.
It's just a filler segment.
I don't go back to the pub afterwards and also go to the pub the next day and go, I saw something really interesting. I just think that's the end of that.
What would you need?
Yeah, what would it take?
What would you want?
I mean,
we need something like physical that you bring to the studio.
If you were both beamed up and anally probed by aliens, and we were able to
do that.
And we were able to show.
Okay, fine.
We were able to show that video of you, them exploring the inside of you.
I think Ofcom might have some issues with that.
But if we knew that you had both been violated in order to make a documentary, then I would be
that's
very
incredible. Happy. Why is it always in black and white?
Because those are heat cameras.
Yeah, but why haven't they got not
well, that is a good question, but
they're meant to be very good at camouflaging themselves with the surroundings.
By the way, Sarah from Belfast is delusional. She says
it's good.
That she likes.
Good, thank you, Sarah.
Yes, come on.
I think she likes your hair.
I mean, she's the only person that's messaged in or called. Normally, by this time, we would have had loads of calls, but there's nobody getting in touch at all. Nobody's getting.
Well, look, thank you, Sarah. We appreciate it.
So what happens? So what should we expect from Operation Bluebeam? When will it happen?
Well, you might be seeing the early stages of it. So we were told about this in the 90s, and this guy was written off as a crank. And the journalist, Sergei Monast, who brought this story out, he died in very mysterious circumstances, didn't he? He was arrested, released from the police station and died very shortly after.
What's happening with all these other people that have been dying?
Well, that's another good question. Still no answers on that. Yeah. People that were working allegedly in these fields. Yeah. So there's a lot of strange things, but it could well be that this is part of some operation where the aliens aren't real and the stuff we're seeing isn't real, but it's an illusion to bring about some kind of world change. I don't think that's impossible to believe.
Neither do I.
COVID, some people say that was
as I said to you before, that the first sort of like when UFOs first came on the scene, became a big popular thing everyone was talking about, it was the height of the Cold War.
Yes.
And then after the Cold War ended, it sort of dropped out of the zeitgeist and sort of became a kind of nostalgia thing, X-Files and alien invasion films. And then tensions in the world have risen up again, and the UFO sightings have come back, and now all this information's coming out. But unlike last time, you're not getting people who have, I saw a ship in the sky, or I got taken on board a UFO and got experimented on. You've got real, credible witnesses in the military coming out with these stories.
But these military witnesses have gone back decades and decades and decades, since like the 20s. People have said that they've seen these.
My big appeal to any UFOs, or indeed any government departments that are attempting to do that, if you were willing to take Joe Stock and Matt Thornton and anally probe them just to check whatever experiments you want to do, whether
Matt.
Anyway, listen, unbelievably, a couple of callers have flooded in to speak to you, so we want you to hang around. This is unprecedented. People want you to stay. So it's Talk Sports Mystery Department on Andre Nash on Talk TV. You don't worry yet. You can settle down, and we'll be back with the guys and your questions. 03444991000 after this.
across the UK. On DAB+, on YouTube, on your mobile, and on your side. This is Talk.
Yes, this is Talk TV. I think we need to give that camera a little wipe. It looks a bit misty.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Some mystery going on.
What are you doing?
Is that your hearing aid? No, it's because your earpiece is biting.
Okay, let's go to Alex in Sheffield. Alex, I understand you're a witch finder.
Yeah. I am a genuine witch finder, which doesn't mean that I persecute witches. It means that I'm involved in the Western occult tradition of witchcraft.
Well, hold on, what do you do? The witch finder general finds them and then
burns them at the stake.
They've dumbed it down again.
Stop for a second.
Wokeified it.
So you're a wet and what?
The Western occult tradition of witchcraft.
You're the Western occult traditional witch finder, right? So before we start, how do you find a witch, and what is the purpose of the hunt?
All right. So there are a few markers, like easy one, like people.
3 nipples, witch's nipple.
Or
you know the witch's nipple.
Breathing problems. Like
breathing problems.
I've got asthma. Am I a witch?
People with asthma and that.
So are you saying that witches live among us and they know that they're witches?
Oh, you know what's going to happen next.
Well, let's find out. Let's put Yasmin in.
Oh,
now,
for
Yasmin.
God's sake.
Welcome to the show and the Witch Finder
No.
General.
I'm not even making this up, guys.
Look, we've got a witch for you.
He's not making up.
Can you tell she's a witch?
So stop for a second. You're not making up the Western occult tradition of witch finding. Are you not making that up, really?
No.
Well, let's put them through. Yasmin.
First of all...
Speak to the Witch Finder General. Away you go, you two. Let's see who wins.
First of all...
Jasmine.
Oh, for
God's sake. Freaking hell. Anyway, first of all, witches can be male as well as female.
You can be a warlock.
Aren't they called wazzocks?
Warlocks.
No, right.
Also, as far as I'm concerned, in every village, in every town, there's witches. Even in the
Hedge witches.
Witches. Even in there's different types of witches. There's kitchen witches, sex witches, weather witches, chaos witches. There's
A succubus, is that what that is?
Yeah, I'm quite familiar with chaos. Let's put it that way. Yeah, that's more my.
So, Alex, are you a witch?
I can witch. Like to be
You can't be a witch finder without being the witch. You got to know that.
Alex, what do you do?
You know, Witch magazine. Do they publish a magazine called Witch? Right, because that would be like which witch was best for your scenario. Because I don't believe those witch magazines. I mean, who actually gets Witch bathroom cleaner magazine?
My mate's got
a lot of people do that. 'Cause you've got to move house, you've got to get some new equipment, you've got to get some fresh supplies.
Yeah.
People need reviews.
You've got to cleanse, like Andre cleansers.
So what would you do to Yasmin?
Can me and Jasmine talk?
Yes,
please. That's what we want. It's just to clear the air. You two clear the air.
Right, darling, I'm a witch, generational, so what have you got to say to me?
Was your...
Silence!
Well, I mean, I'm a witch finder in a kind of way that like, it doesn't mean I'm, like, going to kill a witch. It just means...
So why are you doing it?
Shut up.
That's the whole point. Sorry.
How are you going to find out if they are a witch? Are you going to prick them with your needle?
Well, I mean,
You dunk them in water, I
Or
think.
needle them with you.
They actually tend to help me out.
How?
They came to help you out. How did they help you out?
Same way you came in.
They do
career,
spells that I'm not willing to do.
Yeah, but they're giving you a career of pulling somebody out of the population, saying they're a witch, and then they're demonised for being a witch. There's nothing wrong with witch.
I don't even know what this witch finder's doing. I mean, he
told
likes
us.
Witches. You can't have a witch finder that likes witches and says, "Oh, sometimes I'm a witch." And
what do you do? What do you do when you find the witch, Alex?
Let's just understand the basics here, because I think we're starting to struggle. Right. I mean, by the way, I'm going to treat this as if this is sensible. But here we go. Right. So first of all, Alex. Right. You've said that you can be a witch. You are a witch finder, and you don't like to kill witches. What do you do with them?
He's a woke witch finder.
We call it ops, operations, and we work together, actually.
Do you dunk them in the water and see if they float or do any of that stuff?
No, just...
Are you saying... Sorry, Alex. Are you saying that there are women that are secretly witches and that your job is to find out who they are and identify and confront them?
Yes.
Right, and whose authority are you doing that for?
Who's paying you?
I don't get paid formally, but...
Well, that's a surprise.
No, go on. I mean, so wait, but are you part of a group?
No, actually, I'm an independent operator.
Are you, Alex? Alex, are you a very, very lonely man who walks the streets late at night going, "I'm trying to find a witch"? Is that? I mean, is that it?
I mean, have you got a job or are you on Universal Credit doing this witch finding?
Yes, I am on Universal Credit, but...
Well, he's not available for work because he's been witch finding, so let's have that at the social. Let's tell the social.
You're allowed now. It's probably you get PP or PIP for it.
How many witches do you find? Do you find like a few a year?
Do you care about the answer to that question?
Yeah, I'm interested. What is this?
About 5 confirmed.
In your whole life?
Yeah.
And how do those 5 witches... How do they react when you expose them?
They go, phone the police, there's a nutter at the door.
Okay, so I can I tell you a story?
Yes, please.
Yes, please, do that.
So, there was one witch I found, and we were, basically, there's a method I use sometimes. You point at the sky towards Jerusalem, and then essentially something happens.
What?
And
it's in his trousers. What happens? That's what this is all about.
But what I mean is, I was there once in my bedroom, right?
Oh, I knew it was going to end like this. I knew. Is there any ectoplasm involved?
No.
A little bit.
And I'm very careful about how my security in my rooms are. Right.
You're a man on Universal Credit who wanders the streets looking for witches, and you're concerned about your security. What's going to happen? An Al-Qaeda hit squad, perhaps? Maybe the Americans are going to nuclear strike you. What are you talking about here?
I mean, you may laugh, but anyway.
I am laughing.
I was going to... Yes.
People...
I'm not... I'll tell you what, Alex, I'm not laughing because I get blamed for the bad ratings, right? I'm not laughing at all. Nothing funny about this. Nothing funny.
Okay, but there is no other explanation other than these people can literally teleport through walls.
Yeah, but you haven't said. I asked you what happens when you find out who the witch is. You go knock on the door and go, "Oh, I know you're a witch." What happens next?
No. That's not how it works.
Well, tell us how it works, man.
No. You don't. Yeah, I wouldn't dare.
How do you do it?
Well, they actually tend to come to you. It's kind
so you
of
don't find them. You are a witch, sit in my own house, and witch magnet.
Witch magnet.
Yeah. Well, I suppose that.
Yasmin, can you contribute to this? What you're hearing?
Have you ever been magnetised by a witch magnet?
Had been witch founded?
Well, first of all, witch finders were just sadistic torturers. That's all it was.
Yeah.
And they usually went after the old woman in the village or the young maiden. Anything that made the cock move one way or the other.
Made the what?
So they were basically just sadists who persuaded people.
Andre, you are spot on there. And the other thing about this as well, it keeps going on about witches being women, but witches are also men, plus they're also trans.
Do you know about the ergot poisoning theory about that?
Yeah, I know about
What's that? We don't know. Tell us about the ergot poison.
The idea is
It's
that...
happening in Salem because if you've got ergot poison, your skin turns black, and it never did on anyone.
Tell us what's the ergot.
They believed that the ergot fungus had some kind of psychedelic or mental effects on people that were eating it.
Yeah,
and they believed
it grows on wheat, I think.
They believed that the reason people got into the frenzies around witches and everything was because they were consuming this bread and it was affecting their mind.
They say a lot of the Hindu gods were from this bread that they had in the area. Yeah, that's why they had all these visions of these gods with.
Yeah.
You don't think
Well, it is. I don't believe that. I feel it's as though men can't stand an independent woman.
Well, yeah, I agree with that bit of that too.
They're secure in their own manhood and they're secure in themselves. This male that's talking tonight about witches being drawn with... Yeah, you needle, whatever. Anyway, sticky needle person.
Can I just preface myself here?
Yeah.
And say that when I say I'm a witch finder, I don't go out to, like,
find witches.
Find witches.
That's the trouble, isn't it? You're a rubbish witch finder.
I tend to run into them. Let's put it that way.
It's an accident.
He's a witch finder who doesn't bother finding witches. That's the standard we've got to, isn't it? That's where we're up to. That is talk.
Well, it's typical of all the British institutions. They pull a lever and nothing happens.
Let's find the witch finder who doesn't find witches. Do you remember that ghost hunter who didn't believe in ghosts?
Yeah.
Oh, lest we forget. Lest we forget when I got persuaded that on. And then. Oh.
Right, we're going to take. Are these finished now? We've got a couple more callers, so stay here. We're going to take callers about witches, witch finders, UFOs. Is it all a blue beam? Is it a blue beam thing? It's what the people want. 03444991000. More blue beams on Talk Mystery Hour after this.
Across the UK, on DAB+, on YouTube, on your mobile, and on your side. This is Talk.
Over here, son. Oh, thank you very much. So what was an amazing thing as I get a drink, just to try and get myself going again. Okay, so I want to ask you a question. Right. Okay. So that is the witch finder who doesn't find witches.
He said he found 8.
Oh, yeah.
No, sorry, he found 5 in 8 years. 5 in 8 years.
They came to me. I'll tell you what he's doing. He's in his bedroom every night, pumping his fist.
No.
Right, on his own, just kind of...
casting spells.
A bit lonely. Oh, yeah, casting spell. Oh, what's that spell? Right. Oh, look at this picture of a witch. Right. Oh, what's she wearing? Oh, she's taking it off witch. Right. They're going to go through all of these. So now we've got that bloke, and now we'll tell you what we've got. We previously had the ghost hunter who didn't hunt ghosts because he didn't believe in them. It's just of a low standard.
There's a big witch thing though online.
Right, I'm gonna have my drink now.
They think that
in terms of Come on, show the drink. Come on, I'm on my drink.
It's a very serious online community that they.
Let's talk to. We got Pat. Pat's flooded in.
Hello,
Pat.
Pat.
Cool. Pat, you want to talk to the
Pat, what have you done to me, Pat?
Pat.
Hello there.
Hi, Pat.
Pat, what have you done to me, Pat?
You know, first of all, you've only got this bloke's, on Bluebeam, you've only got this bloke's notes that you can go by, and
yes,
there are sensationalists.
Yes.
Pat knows about this.
You know, the fact is that
I'm not sure Bluebeam's one of the more convincing ones.
Well, no, Bluebeam was the more famous one. Everyone refers to Bluebeam, but it's not just Sergei Monast who came out with these theories. Lots of people around the time were saying. In fact, a lot of very famous ufologists, people that claim they saw documents in the military and everything, in the late 90s started to come out and say, and came out publicly and said, we've been duped. And we were deliberately shown this stuff to talk about it.
I remember seeing that someone got these things and it was giving the ranks of these alien people.
Yes.
There was that sort of... And that seemed a bit fishy, didn't
yes.
it? People here into... So, Pat, have you looked into this? Because...
Well, Pat, are you a leading expert? Like that bloke who's a leading expert on witch finding, who've never found a witch?
No, it's just that I mean, first of all, if you read the last book of the Bible, Book of Revelations, it says that there will be wonders. I mean, you know, these people, the Antichrist or something, whatever it is, will cause wonders in the sky and deceive the people and false prophets. So if you read that, then you know that it would be something that you're forewarned about.
There's something biblical about it.
Yes, well, we've said that before.
You would give it short shrift.
Well, one of the ideas about these aliens is that a lot of the sightings have happened near plate tectonics, where under the sea, earthquake places under the sea, where basically the earth opens up and you go towards the core. From a spiritual perspective, obviously, the closer to the core you get, the closer to hell you're in. If that's where the aliens are coming from, then why wouldn't they be demons?
Well, they would be. But they would. It says in the Bible that there are demons. I mean, to coin it, what I call a Ken phrase, that, you know, people like him wouldn't be convinced. But, I mean, it would be a kind of a...
Yeah, he would see it as
a malevolent spiritual manifestation.
And of course, that's the famous thing in the War of the Worlds novel, that the priest thinks that that this was the opening of the gates of hell and that they were demons, when in fact they're Martians. But you know, through his eyes.
But the chances of anything coming from Mars are a million to one. They said.
But
there's spiders from Mars. Spiders are from Mars, aren't they?
Some of them play guitar.
The thing is that if you're, I mean, it would probably deceive a lot of people. But, I mean, if you've got, say, a kind of a logic about you say, well, you could tell a hologram from a real solid object.
I mean, if you're...
Well, you could.
Well, you don't know that because...
Under high stress, all of your friends and family have just been killed by aliens.
If you see some odd thing, you know, some being lit up in the sky and everyone's dying around you, you might be inclined.
But also, experience has taught us that when you see something in the sky, I always give the example of the professor who got a load of lights, stuck them on his head, and stood next to a road. And, you know, 50% of the reports to the police were, there's an old man with lights on his head. And the other half had been heavily embellished by people who were now trying to advocate for it. I suspect if you put a hologram in the sky, a percentage of people would go, oh my God, there's a weird hologram in the sky. And then another set of people who, you know, want to get involved or maybe a bit confused would advocate heavily for it and say, no, actually, it wasn't a hologram, you know.
But also, when this theory was coming out, we didn't have any form of actual hologram. It was just something you'd see in sci-fi films.
I see.
Officially, anyway. So if someone back in the 90s saw something like that floating in the sky, or even like those drone displays that we have now, like, you know...
Yeah, that's true.
If you showed someone in the 90s that, or the 80s, they'd be completely freaked out.
What about Spielberg?
If you saw...
Third count first.
Let me just say this. If you saw the end, did you see on Clarkson's farm where they had the drone display?
I haven't seen that.
If you'd have seen that drone display, if I'd have seen that at university in 1997, I would have been we would have just thought...
Yeah,
because it wouldn't have been possible.
And it's very likely that we have technology that hasn't been released to public that
and those drones would have been available to military, 20 years ago.
Can I say something that if on the outside chance that human beings at this point in science have invented electrogravitics, which means anti-gravity.
Anti-gravity.
So it would be a game changer for travel.
Yes.
You could go around the world in more or less minutes.
8 days.
Well, it wouldn't just change travel. It would.
Without feeling any inertia.
So you're saying the travel agents are trying to stop this?
I think part of the idea behind anti-gravity is sort of unlimited energy that just sort of exists around
and
you.
they don't want
and
that in the
would,
business, do
No, quite. That would destroy any kind of the energy sector.
Well, it would rewrite everything, because with that kind of technology, you wouldn't be stuck on Earth anymore.
It would destroy economies.
You'd be free in so many ways that we
Which
can't
they don't
even
want.
conceive of right now.
Which they don't want.
Of course not.
Anyway, thanks, Pat. Let's go to Alison in County Antrim. You're through to the mystery department, Alison.
Hello, Alison.
Hello.
Hi. Well, I've a ghost story to share with you.
Please do.
Well, this isn't
We love
really a
ghost
ghost
stories.
section, but this time we'll overlook it.
Okay, well, it happened actually to my granda. It didn't happen to me, but
That's fine.
he, years ago, he used to, he kept ponies and stuff, and he would take things from his place and deliver them to people in the surrounding area and further afield. Anyway, he was coming home late one night. He wasn't particularly tired or anything, but my granny and my mum noticed that he was a bit sort of distant looking when he got home. And what had happened was he was coming up his road home. Now, home to me is County Down. I live in County Antrim, but I'm actually from County Down. A place called Newton Ards on the Ards Peninsula. And where they lived was called Lockreef.
Yeah.
And he was coming up Lockreef Road one night, and he was nearing verging to take off up the lane to go down to his property. It was in the countryside. So that was okay. Anyway, he thought he was seeing something up ahead, and it turned out to be, the pony stopped first of all. So there was definitely the pony sensed something, but he saw something. And what he saw was this woman dressed in old-style clothing, walking out from the verge at the side of the road to the middle of the road. And by the time he had pulled up the pony and stopped and got off, she'd gone, completely vanished, disappeared.
That's quite.
No explanation.
That's quite freaky.
Spooky.
Was your dad sort of into ghosts and all that, or was this sort of
Was
a
a granddad?
Sorry, your granddad. Was he?
Listen.
Sorry, forgive me.
Enough, no.
He was never sort of into all that fuddy-duddy nonsense.
Was he drunk?
And, I mean, he wasn't like a phony type of person at all. He was very straight.
It's funny how much your story actually mirrors the one of the vision mixer who's sitting in there, who's too scared to come on and talk about his parents' ghost story. Because they also had a very, very bizarre encounter on a roadside with a woman in period clothing.
That wasn't.
It does happen on roadsides a lot, doesn't it? In road, I know someone in the
That's
country.
just what he's told the missus.
No.
I know someone
there was
who
a double sighting.
There was this strange woman at the roadside, was there? And that was when the police turned up. Oh, I see. Yeah, she was in old-fashioned clothing, was she? Yeah.
The vision mixer.
I saw one by Smithfield Market as well, an old coach driver.
Yeah, there was an old scraggy woman by the roadside, so I went to help her. Did you really?
The vision mixer's
Did you really,
parents
officer?
were both in the car, and they were driving down the road at night. I don't want to take the story, but he won't say it. And a figure drifted out into the road wearing old robes, hood, and holding a lantern. And it was seeming to be hovering, and they drove home, and they got into the house and watched it drift down the road.
You remember the sort that happened to me? We were driving home. Right, I share a car with Matt.
Okay, the driver.
We met Cronenberg. Right, we met Cronenberg. We were halfway between Windsor and Ascot, because I was living in Ascot at the time. On that road that goes through the Great Park, you all know it. I wake up. The driver goes, there's a young girl distressed and lost. Right, so I went out, Cronenberg she was. She looked like she was about 16. She turned round, she was 64, right? And I'll tell you what, we got her, stuck her in the back of the car. She directed the driver all the way to our house and then said we'd kidnapped her. She was pissed, right? And then we drove around all night, full moon, right?
It was a full moon.
It's just an old woman.
We're never picking
It's
up...
an old mad
just
woman.
in case we didn't realise before, we're not picking up any old bags anymore.
Well, you
It's
seem
not
like
happening.
you
It's not happening. No more old bags.
Anyway, are you happy, Alison? Have you told us everything you needed to? Got everything off your chest?
Well, yeah, I just wanted to say that, you know, my granda, he was, I mean, I wouldn't say he was, you know, he would be very serious about things like that, you know,
he wouldn't just make up something.
We hear
like
it
that.
too much for it not to be true. There must be some sort of system that we don't know about.
Right.
Anyway, thank you for that. That was Alison. Yeah, Cronenberg. John in Dorset. John, you're through to the mystery department. Away you go. Your mystery. Cronenberg.
They've got UFOs in Dorset.
John.
Oh, well done for that. That's a fine piece of analysis, isn't it? They've got UFOs in Dorset. Boom. Oh, okay. You know, 6 more of them, we might actually pay you. Right, come on, let's do it.
John.
Let's do it. Right, get on with it.
Right, I'm just curious as to how you feel about who you get on to talk about the subjects.
What you mean, like not real experts? Are you moaning about just getting someone?
So what do I feel? What do I feel about the ghost? The ghost man who didn't believe in ghosts. What do I feel about the witch man who doesn't find witches?
It's terrible, isn't it? It's terrible, but we're really scraping the barrel. But what do you think, John?
The word is perfunctory.
What's your view, John? Do you think they're...
Well, I mean, I've looked into the research, but I think his name's Patrick Q. Jackson. He did a lot of research in haunted houses.
Hugh Jordan.
Yeah.
Patrick Q. Jackson, he's Irish.
Yeah.
He basically just built a bunch of experiments to either debunk it or whatever.
Yeah.
And what he found out is that they seem to follow actual timed patterns.
Right.
And if what he ended up doing is he built some equipment, effectively found out that there were digital signals coming from them, and that he
You're talking about ghosts, coming from ghosts?
Coming from ghosts, but his basic conclusion was they're not ghosts, they're UAP.
Right, well, it's a really good thing you've said there, because some of the files that just got released last week were all military documents talking about the fact that they worked out that these sightings were happening in cycles, and then there was a document sent out saying to people, prepare for the next cycle. So it was interesting that you made that connection there.
Well, the interesting thing is that he got the sequencing down so well that he says that he can model exactly why they're triangular and why you would get a triangle and then 2 following behind it and exactly what they're doing. His basic idea was these things hang around in attics and abandoned military sites and hospitals and things like that. And the general idea is there's a lot of this phenomena that people see, like glowing orbs and ghouls and shadows and things, are all designed to basically keep you away from them.
Right.
Well, the idea is basically they're mining data. And then the things that you see floating above, the triangular things, they effectively at certain times will float over this area or other places, which sometimes it's haunted, sometimes it's things they want to gather data from, and then they basically move into position, and then it's transmitted. And what he found was at certain times, like about 3 o'clock in the morning or whatever, one particular thing hiding in the basement, like a little glowing sort of vague shadow that you can only pick up on infrared or whatever, will go all the way to the top of the stairs, then into the attic, and then at the top of the roof, and then broadcast a signal to 3 above it. And then basically he said the reason is that because they, for instance, a lot of people see these triangular 3-orb things tilted. And the idea is that it's used to basically triangulate and broadcast into space. But
well, John, I think it's very interesting. I think I'd love to read that and see what data he's collected.
I would not. I would not like to read it.
Anyway, it's that time again to talk to the show troubadour, the British Bob Dylan. Let's talk to Graham.
Ah.
Hello there. How you doing? Okay.
Graham, have you ever seen an alien?
No, I've seen you.
Are you an alien?
No, I'm still human, don't worry.
Anyway, what song have we got? Because I'm going to do a special read using you as a music bed, so away you go with your song, please, Graham.
I'll surprise you. Here we go.
You've probably noticed the 2026 World Cup is well and truly in full swing. We're marking a massive month of football in style here on Talk. How would you feel about pocketing an amazing £26,000 completely tax-free? Just picture that heading straight to your bank account. You could sort the mortgage out, take a proper holiday, or just take the pressure off a bit. It's a life-changing sum. If your balance needs a serious lift this summer, here's everything you need to know.
For your chance to win, visit talk.tv/win or text TALK to 8338 by 6 p.m. on the 20th of July 2026. Texts cost £2.50 plus your standard network rate. Or send your name and number by post to Comp 1 PO Box 3190, Colchester CO2 8GP. To arrive by midnight on the 23rd of July 2026. 18 plus, UK residents only. So for your chance to win, text TALK to 8338 now. This is a network promotion, full T's and C's at talk.tv/win.
Across the UK, on DAB+, on YouTube, on your mobile, and on your side. This is Talk.
Let's go straight to the callers. Who do you want to go first with, Ash?
Paula in Halifax.
Good evening, guys.
What's up, man? Morning. It's morning, Paula.
I've been ringing. I've been trying to get hold of you.
Are you on hands-free? You sound a bit muffled.
Can't understand
you.
Yeah,
I am. Sorry.
Come on.
Is that better, Ash?
Right. Yeah, that's better, man.
Come on,
don't put that idiot on from who was it having me talk to him.
All right. I don't know what you mean, but anyway.
I'll just put phone down.
Oh, well, maybe we'll get him on. No, I'm only joking. What is it, Paula?
No, I'm ringing up about what's her name now? Who got murdered this week?
Anne Widdecombe, yeah.
Yeah, isn't it off? awful.
It's horrendous. I was just saying, actually, you know, just thinking about this poor old lady tottering.
Yeah, you were upset, actually.
Well, yeah,
Not
I mean,
upset,
I've met her, and you know, she was a lovely old lady, just harmless.
Here's the suspect.
And you know, obviously, this is a case going on, but whatever happened, it was horrendous. That poor Anne Widdecombe.
Yeah, I mean, I remember her on Big Brother. I mean,
She was a great laugh, and you know, she didn't believe in gay marriage. She wouldn't go to gay marriage, but she had loads of gay friends and hung out. She just believed what she believed, but she was nice to everyone and loved all kinds of people with differing views.
She did, Ash, and it sickened me and my family.
Of course it would.
Really
It sickened the whole country. Well, a lot of the country.
I mean, it's absolutely vile behaviour.
Yeah,
I mean,
and what followed is vile as well. All the people sort of horrendous.
Loving it.
Yeah, celebrating her death. Disgusting.
Anybody involved in it was absolutely appalling.
Are you still on hands-free, Paula?
No, bloody not, Ash.
No, bloody not, Ash. Bloody hell.
So, is that what you just wanted to say, that?
No, I just wanted to say that. And then I wanted to say, I'm the biggest witch that rings the show.
You're the biggest what? Witch? Well,
you're a witch.
Are you a witch?
I'm the biggest witch that rings the show.
Well, I think Yasmin might have something to say about that.
I just like to call you my witch. I just like to call you my witch.
I don't know that. Who did that?
That's not the lyrics.
I don't know. But,
so why are all witches from the north?
No, I'm not a bloody witch.
I had a girlfriend who was a witch from Leytonstone, so that's sort of...
That's North London, isn't it?
With North East, yeah.
Now, back to US, back to the 70s.
Yeah, she's watching the screen
What
now.
were you doing back in the 70s, Paula?
I wasn't even born.
Yeah,
Well, when were you born?
Of course you were.
1973.
So you were born in the 70s?
So you were born in the 70s, quite a lot of the 70s.
1973.
Yeah, how can you say I wasn't even born in the 70s when you were born in 1970?
She's from up north, remember, that's...
Oh,
right, leave that. We've had enough of that, right?
Thanks, Paul. Let's go to Billy. Billy in Coventry. Billy.
Hello, chaps. How the devil are you guys?
All right, how are you? How are you, Billy? You all right?
Absolutely shocking. To be honest with you guys, I used to watch Talk quite a lot a while ago, but certain parts left. Anyway, we're going to, we won't go there. But Andre, I do watch you actually on YouTube.
Thank you.
Here, there, and everywhere. Every now and then, and I have no idea how my Samsung telly has just randomly sort of switched on to Talk.
Oh, really? Yeah, we've got this system that can control your mind.
Yeah, algorithm.
No.
It's because you want to watch us. It knows you want to see us.
Listen, it's really quite refreshing because it's better than the Labour government controlling my mind.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we may as well control your mind, yeah.
You know, so yeah, it's actually quite refreshing to...
So you didn't watch us for a bit and now you're back?
Well, whether it's on a permanent basis, I don't know.
Oh, go on, stay. At least with us, anyway. Come on.
No, just stick with my YouTube channel. I make more money off it.
And Ash, can I just say one thing? Many moons ago, I used to watch yourself and...
James Wales.
Of course, the great. So, you know, it was actually quite nice for my TV to suddenly flash up with Talk TV. Of course it was. Anyway, so there's the formalities out of the way.
Yeah, let's get to the meat of the call.
The meat and tatties.
Meat and potatoes.
I'm not entirely sure. I mean, to be honest with you, as I say, I've only just kind of tuned in and stuff. So I'm kind of interested, and I know that you guys are mildly on the right, which makes us all Nazis and fascists.
Yeah.
Excuse my French. And all the rest of the carry-on.
Yeah.
And obviously, you know, dyeing people's hair anything but blue makes you anyway, I'm just curious as to know that where we go from here after. And I've got a beautiful photo of myself and Anne.
Oh, have you? Where did you meet Anne Widdecombe? Where did you meet her?
Well, actually, I was at I went to the first Reform conference in Birmingham. I'm from Coventry, which is literally down the road. which was the most wonderful day out. And I'm sure, you know, if anybody's ever been to a political conference, it's just drab, dull, awful.
I completely agree. Completely agree.
It is just, we're going to do this, and we're going to do bollocks. Do you know what? With all due respect, when I went to that Reform Party conference, it was the biggest party I've ever seen. I actually had a T-shirt on, and on the back of it said, "I love mentally unstable women." It's just one of those. I kind of have. I wear, you know,
provocative stuff.
Funny T-shirts.
And the amount of women who came up to me, I remember actually chatting to a couple of guys from GB News, and some little old lady came and tapped me on the shoulder and winked at me after having. And I thought, oh my God, I'm so in here.
But tell us about Anne Widdecombe. Did you see her speak? Did you meet her?
No, well,
she was a good speaker.
Right? Very good, yeah.
Oh, she was brilliant. But actually, was it that one or another one?
I don't know.
But my father died last year, age 90, full of kind of Alzheimer's and stuff.
Yeah.
But when I was at this at the conference.